Australia, one of the nicest 2 coffee shops you can dine at in South Australia, at Atlas and Zuma. Marino's. We spoke to one of their butchers last time we were here, an Italian chap, as befits a butcher shop that has a very proud Italian heritage. And, of course, the Providore, which is one of the best little patisseries in SA. The good thing about the market is that it actually does represent, like, pretty much the best of everything that's available food-wise. And, you know, it never ceases to amaze me. I had coffee here with a friend of mine from Sydney, Sarah, about 6 months ago. She was here to do an interview. She's the editor of Stella magazine in the Sunday papers. She'd actually done an interview with Julia Gillard over the road at the new newly renovated Her Majesty's Theatre. And I said, I'll meet you at the market. She said, which market? I said, the Central Market. She said, oh, where's that? I said, between Goodger and Grote Street. She said, I've actually never been there. She's only been to Adelaide twice. And met her here for a coffee. And she's like, this place is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen anything like this in Australia. And she said that next time she comes back to Adelaide, she's going to deliberately stay near it so that she can just come here and eat and drink, which is an excellent thing to frame any holiday around.
I actually made a market discovery the other day. I've been here during, obviously when we're broadcasting early in the morning, and on weekends, like I suppose a lot of people, most people would experience it. I'd never done a midweek, sort of middle of the day markets before, because usually I'd be working historically.
Yeah.
We took Rosie in because we wanted to, the day after your own heart, David, I don't know if you're rubbing off on me, we went and bought some food at the markets and sat in the Botanic Gardens that had like a picnic, basically.
Right, excellent.
But coming in when it was a little bit quieter, and it felt like suddenly the markets just belonged to you. It was a totally different experience. You get the buzz at certain times of day, but then to come in and go, oh, actually,
well, that is so true. And
it was magical.
If you've got flexible hours, it's good, because there are still periods during the week when you can come here, like early on a Tuesday or a Tuesday afternoon or early on a Thursday. Because you think of the market, and like Friday nights and Saturday mornings in the Central Market, it's like Grand Central Station.
Yes.
And I think part of that's because it's like a bit of a dining option. Like where we're sitting now in front of all these tables, getting a table here on a Saturday is you feel like you've won lotto if you can do it. And I was just actually looking at the big board there with all of the market's opening hours in the lead up to Christmas. So Christmas obviously is a Sunday next year. It's still a couple of weeks away, so we're not exactly right smack bang on the eve of Christmas yet. But so it's going to be open 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Christmas Eve. But the really big shopping day will be the 23rd, the Friday, where it's open until 9 o'clock at night. And I tell you, every time I think back to working at McMahon's Fruit and Veg in the late 80s here with Steph, hope you're listening, Steph. G'day, mate. We'll catch up soon. The intensity of those days in the market it's actually hard to understand how exhausting it is.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Like for the storeholders, not only do they need to get peak stock levels, the veg shop, you're out at Paraka probably twice that week. I can remember we would get like 1.5 or 2 tons of watermelons, and they'd come in these giant cardboard cylinders, and all of us at McMahon's would make like a human chain in here about 6 o'clock in the morning, and like rugby league passes, we'd get in a line and we'd just throw watermelons like that. I was the fittest I've ever been when I worked here.
I bet.
Dead set. We'd carry like 2 20-kilo bags of potatoes on either shoulder, and there was this slippery wooden staircase in the middle of the shop because we kept all the potatoes upstairs. It was like SAS training. So you have to squat, put 2 20-kilo bags on your shoulders, and then squat down and walk, waddling like a duck, holding 40 kilograms of spuds on your back up a staircase. And you do that like 50 times.
There'd be plenty of people in the corporate world who'd pay a lot of money for that kind of workout.
It should be a game show.
You could harness that,
Central
sell that as an
Survivor
exercise program on Instagram, and you'd end up being a multi-squillionaire.
It was crazy.
You can see elements of the new redevelopment that are happening as well, and I actually think it looks spectacular. And guess what? I haven't heard a single person ever complain about it. 12 minutes after 6, well, no one who actually works in the market.
Deputy Mayor.
Let's take some calls on the seafood trade this morning. Your personal highlight or your highlight of 2022. Let's go to Kidman Park. Ange, good morning.
Good morning, guys. All the best on your break. Have a nice Christmas.
Thank you, Ange. You too.
Guys, Australia's been pretty divided the last few years with COVID and that, and I honestly believe that the Socceroos have actually united Australia again.
I agree, mate.
Yeah,
I reckon the
feels like
Socceroos was the great feel-good sports story of the year. And you look at all the garbage going on again with Cricket Australia. The Socceroos are just a good news story.
They are galvanising. It did feel like everyone could finally come together and cheer for the same thing at once.
Yeah.
Which is increasingly rare. That's a terrific call, Ange. I like this one from Lynn on Facebook. Lynn says, my highlight for 2022, successfully losing 10 kilos so far and keeping it off. Congratulations to you, Lynn. That's no mean feat. I do feel it's problematic giving Lynn as a reward for that 4 kilos of local prawns, but...
Well, no, prawns are all right.
Prawns are probably okay.
Prawns are okay, particularly if you're just eating them. Well, the cocktail sauce is more the issue.
That's
going to
be a concern.
It's a bit fatty. Or you can do a light mayo, fat-free mayo version of it. You can have, you can make other dipping sauces, like a Asian-style dipping sauce with soy and chili. That's good with prawns and not going to put any weight on. The prawn itself isn't that fattening, is it?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No prizes, Will, for guessing your great moment of the year. They don't get any bigger than baby number one.
In the round of 16.
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking so much about the win against Denmark as the arrival of baby Rosie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I was with you. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely up there.
It doesn't come any bigger than that.
The Tunisia and Denmark games.
The penalty shootout, of course. Redmayne and Rosie.
That's right.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing even comes close to it. I want to take one newsy sort of text from Rob because and I'm sure this will feature a little bit later in our conversations around some of the news of the day. Rob's got some concerns about the prisoner swap that's freed US basketballer Brittany Griner from the United States. She was caught with essentially marijuana, THC, in her bag, and has been for months and months and months locked up and been the subject of this political football, so to speak, whereby you've got the war in Ukraine colouring this conversation around whether she'd get free and how. Rob says, swapping a basketball player for one of the world's most dangerous arms dealers. Some of his deals include 30,000 AL-47s to Colombian drug cartels, 800 surface-to-air missiles, millions of rounds of ammo. The man's responsible for thousands of deaths and will now help Putin in Ukraine for a B-grade basketball player that can't even pack her bags carefully, so she doesn't take THC into a country that will jail you for it and won't even stand for her national anthem. It's like if we had El Chapo when we swapped him for Cocaine Cassie and boasted of how good a deal we got.
That is a very good text, mate.
The guy's name is the Merchant of Death.
Yeah, generally you're not known as the Merchant of Death unless you've done bad stuff. Not a good moniker to have, is it?
No, it's not the sort of nickname that you got in high school that's stuck, is it?
No,
here comes the old Merchant of Death.
Being known as Will Party Goodings.
No, that's right.
Like Will, if you were called Will Merchant of Death Goodings, I'd think twice about
working
with you for 8 years.
You'd at least ask the question, would you?
Why, just out of interest, why is he called the Merchant of Death?
Oh, he's got his alarms.
One of those names like the Butcher of Treblinka, names like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I want to be friends with that guy?
You never ask that person and they respond, well, funny story.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
16 after 6, we've got some news headlines coming up next.
Hey Strikers fans, Sid's here and you don't want to miss this. It's our season opener against the Sydney Sixers on Wednesday, December 14 at Adelaide Oval. Not going to lie, I'm pretty excited about this one and you should be too, as we'll be launching the P-City 2.0 Shades as our match day giveaway. These are this summer's hottest item. Visit AdelaideStrikers.com.au for tickets, and I can't wait to see the best fans in the league back at Adelaide Oval this summer.
SA's own and favourite milk company, FIVEAA Milk Company, is giving you the chance to win a $4,000 Phil Hoffman travel voucher. Take home our limited edition Christmas products and get creative. Take a pic of them under your Christmas tree as a Chrissy decoration. Anything you can think of. Then share your pics on Facebook or Instagram and tag FIVEAA Milk Company and Phil Hoffman Travel. You could win a $4,000 travel voucher. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
This festive season, while you're planning your decadent spreads, shop like a locavore with the Adelaide Showground Farmers Market.
Now, their local produce isn't just the secret to the tastiest and freshest meals, it also helps reduce your carbon footprint and boost the local economy.
Becoming a member at the Adelaide Showground Farmers Market is the gift that gives back. It's one of the best ways to support our South Australian farming community. Plus, if you join now, you not only get 10% of your purchases all year round, you'll also go into the draw to win one of 2 incredible bikes thanks to Bicycle Express.
It's the perfect gift for food lovers. Become a locavore at the Adelaide Showground Farmers Market, open 8:30 till 12:30 on Christmas Eve Saturday and New Year's Eve Saturday and every other Sunday morning so that you can share the freshest festive food with loved ones.
This is the BBC. There's been a murder at Adelaide's Her Majesty's Theatre. Someone is hiding something. Only one of them knows the answer.
Turn that thing off!
A murder?
The woman was strangled.
Are you sure you didn't see or hear anybody?
Agatha Christie's masterpiece, The Mousetrap, celebrating a thrilling 70 years on the West End. Now at Her Majesty's Theatre from December. Book at themousetrap.com.au.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Crisp sort of a morning, but very comfortable down here at the markets. Grab a hot beverage and say g'day. We'll jump into the news headlines on this, our final program of 2022.
Just quickly, on the prawn question,
yes.
Chris Jarmer from Jarmer's Restaurant texted saying he's going to be on with Jade this afternoon talking prawn recipes.
Oh, excellent.
Which could be very timely, particularly for whoever wins the 4-kilo bag today from Angelakis.
That'll be must listen to. It
will
always is anyway.
Appointment setting radio, as they call it.
Lucy's got some information. Prawns are extremely low in calories. The same 100 grams of prawns contains only about 115 calories. So in about 5 kilos of prawns, you'd be getting
just rip into them.
Somewhere in about 5,000 calories. Which
actually,
is
I just thought
actually a lot.
A zero fat, an absolutely fantastic zero fat prawn recipe is a classic Mexican prawn cocktail.
Yeah.
So Google that to our listener before if you're worried about weight gain and prawns.
I don't think she was. I think I made it initially.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just stop labouring the point then.
Okay. News headlines. Let's look at the Murray. Almost 1,000 properties along the River Murray now inundated by rising water levels. Latest modelling shows flows will peak at 190 to 220 gigalitres around Christmas and the New Year. SES Chief Chris Beattie says emergency services have knocked over 5,000 properties at risk.
We've got a number of communities right across the upper Riverland areas, Murraylands and indeed down in the lower river sections that will either become fully inundated or completely isolated. And whether that's Paisleys or Young Husband, we're working with those communities to ensure that households are prepared, they have a plan, they know when they're going to need to leave.
We'll talk more about this one a little bit later in the morning, but the AFL has locked in the fixture for its inaugural gather round. None of the games are going to be in the Barossa in the end. Nord Oval will hold 2 matches. Mount Barker will have 1. The rest we played at Adelaide Oval. So the Crows will open it up on a Thursday night. And then you have the 2 double headers as imagined. Terrific that the game's going to be played in the hills.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the Barossa's a real missed opportunity. And it was so much of the sales pitch around it was we're going to open up regional South Australia. Yeah. And what better thing to promote than wine? And look, sorry, I do not associate Mount Barker with a wine experience. Mount Barker is a large suburban area that happens to be in the hills these days. Like, there's no unique... people aren't going to say, I'm flown from Sydney or Melbourne to Adelaide for the weekend to go to Mount Barker. I know it's near some of the Adelaide Hills wineries, but if you actually want a wine experience in the Adelaide Hills, you sort of go to Uradla Summertown. Or
I kind of feel that way about Nord Oval.
Yeah.
So Nord Oval's pretty. I think the parade's pretty. But you come to Adelaide and go to a ground in Adelaide that's just slightly worse than the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where do I get my tickets?
Yeah, the Barossa.
Or the Southeast. Or McLaren Vale.
Or Mount Gambier.
Mount Gambier. It feels like a real lack of imagination.
What it feels like to me is the AFL being the AFL.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't think it's on the state government. I think the state government went and going, this is what we can do. And then the AFL went, yeah, all right, that's good. But then they looked at it more and probably had, 73 meetings. And then went, not sure if it's this place. What's it called? Anguston. That oval's not really compliant. I thought, well, who cares?
Yep.
What is it? Some health and safety issue preventing from doing it there or something?
This is a big story. Households and businesses are likely to be compensated as part of a push to bring down the cost of electricity. The deal is part of the federal government's negotiations with New South Wales and Queensland to cap the price of coal. It's understood the rebates will be paid until lower electricity prices start flowing through to consumers. The agreement is expected to be ratified at today's virtual National Cabinet meeting. We'll talk more about that a little bit later too.
It's virtual because Alba's still got COVID.
He's got COVID,
yeah.
Researchers say running for the bus and other high-energy daily tasks can reduce your risk of premature death. That's something you want to reduce, should I say.
Yeah.
Sydney University researchers found that 4 short bouts of vigorous activity per day can reduce the risk of death from cardiovascular disease by almost half. Physical activity, lifestyle and population health professor Emmanuel Stamatakis says it can be as simple as walking faster than normal when just going about your daily life.
During our regular walking-based activities, going to the shops, commuting to work, we simply accelerate the walking pace, we step up the pace to reach vigorous intensity.
So if you're running to catch the bus, presumably you're running like, 150, 200 metres?
Something like that.
You go, there's the bus, quick. Here comes the 243 down Celtic Avenue. I've got to get into town. I'm running late. Run. So you can live longer if you run the equivalent of, 600 metres a day?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty
it's pretty achievable, isn't it? Pretty achievable.
That's like the biggest breakthrough since 8-minute abs became 7-minute abs.
You can't do 6-minute abs. That's outrageous.
Stepping on my office.
13.9 degrees outside in Adelaide tomorrow, ahead of a magnificent 26 today. Cloud clearing. 35 tomorrow. It's going to be a warm one, but then there'll be a late cool change and some rain will come with it. Up to 4 mils of rain as the temperature drops back to 21 on Sunday, 19 Monday, 20 Tuesday and a couple more sprinkles of rain. Wednesday's 19 and clear, Thursday 20. Another mild week ahead with the highlights being today and tomorrow, at least top temperature-wise.
It's weird having this one isolated day of summer tomorrow.
Totally
and
bizarre.
Then back to wintry conditions. Crazy.
19, 20 degrees. And what are we getting into the teeth of December?
Yeah.
Let's go back to Hindmarsh Square. Sam Daddo is back in the studio to bring us sport. Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderol.com.au. Morning, Sam.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good, Sam. How you going back there, mate?
Oh, we're getting there, me and Jono. Anyway, quickly to the test cricket. You'll do the magic round, gather round, whatever it's called, with Timmy G after 7. But yesterday, day 1 at the Adelaide Oval, West Indies v Australia, 24,449 people through the gate. Now, that was up from 10,929 who went to Perth's day 1. Travis Head, South Aussie, the first South Aussie to score 100 on Adelaide Oval since 1995. I think it was Greg Blewett at the time in the Ashes series.
Yeah.
Here is Trav Head bringing up his tongue.
Thank you very much. I might not hit it through cover, but I'll hit it through mid-off. And they are on their feet at the Adelaide Oval because for Travis Head and all the people in South Australia, that is a very special moment. As good a number 5's innings as you'll see in Test cricket this from Travis Head. Take a bow, son.
Audio there thanks to Fox. Marnus Labuschagne finishing on 120 not out. Travis Head got up to 114. Days play to get underway at 2:30 this afternoon at the Oval, guys.
I tell you what, Labuschagne, what's that, 3 centuries in a row?
Yep.
That guy looks unstoppable. I went down there for a session and a half yesterday afternoon. It was great. The crowds hadn't really picked up then, but it became party central at night. Pretty good turnout, almost 25,000 people. But Travis Head, after that heartbreaking 99 in Perth, it was a little bit nerve-wracking watching him. And you mentioned Greg Blewett, Sam. He, from memory, famously in the early 90s, there was an innings he played when he was on 99 overnight and he got clean bowled the next morning.
I think he went through a period where he had a real issue with the nervous 90s. He got dismissed a lot of times for 100. Cricket Australia will be breathing a sigh of relief at that crowd number.
Yeah.
It's the highest first day test attendance against the West Indies at Adelaide Oval since 1982, I think.
It's pretty good.
So you've got to put it in context with who we're playing. It's not an Ashes test.
No. I mean, if it was India or the Poms, it'd be sold out.
So 24,000 today. What does that become tomorrow and tonight? It's probably a pretty healthy looking number, I'd suggest.
I reckon that number will probably hold up for the next 2 days, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'll be more.
Yeah.
It'll grow.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Great atmosphere. Like, just, you know, so much of the Adelaide Oval's appeal has actually got nothing to do with the cricket. I interviewed all these yobbos yesterday on the hill, people dressed as chefs and bananas and Roman centurions. But you know the really good thing, the bunch of chefs that I spoke to was a group of 9 blokes who come over from Melbourne every year. It's their third trip. They're all schoolmates. They're all in their early 20s. One of them said I had my first beer at 10:30. So we really out of the blocks.
A solid start.
Yeah, but they just love it. We just love coming to Adelaide.
Yeah,
it's great.
It is great. That's sport. Check out Gliderol Garage Doors' new Timberlook Native Series sectional doors, gliderol.com.au. Lots of entries coming in for the meat tray this morning. The seafood tray, thanks to Angelakis Brothers. 4 kilos of local prawns. You find them here near us at stall 5 to 6 in the markets. We'll get to some of your entries shortly on your highlight of 2022.
Another panettone, Tony.
I couldn't have another, Mother.
Have another, Tony.
I've had another, Mother.
Have another panettone, Tony.
Fine.
Traditional fruit panettone for just $8.99 this Christmas. Aldi. Good. Different.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to get free installation? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2. The largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers and get free installation on your cabinets with laminate benchtops. For a limited time, of course. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au
1887, that's when the first vines went in at Paxton Wines, making them some of the oldest vines in the world. And today, they proudly produce premium organic biodynamic McLaren Vale wines, and they have a killer selection for Christmas and summer.
And speaking of killers, Will, now I drank some of this the other night. This wine is absolutely superb. And I tell you what, it would make a great Christmas present for someone. So the Killers, Ronnie, the drummer from the Killers, big fan of Paxton Wines. So he teamed up with the team at Paxton's. They collaborated on the excellent Batterista Shiraz. Batterista meaning drummer in Italian. Now, the band has just played a few gigs in Adelaide, obviously, and Ronnie paid a visit to the fantastic and beautifully rustic Paxton cellar door, and he signed a few bottles of the Batterista Shiraz. So, if you've got a friend or a loved one who loves good music and great wine, perfect Christmas gift.
Absolutely. The cellar door also has a pop-up wine bar and a gourmet wood-fired pizza oven that gets fired up every weekend. They are delicious. It's Paxton Wines, a must-see while you're in McLaren Vale. Drink responsibly.
Heard of the leg pain study? At Park Clinical Research, we're looking for people who are experiencing constant shooting or radiating pain down the back of their legs. During our trial, you'll have access to medical professionals who understand your condition and be reimbursed for your study-related expenses and time. For more information on this study, contact Park Clinical Research or visit clinials.com/leg pain study. That's clinials.com/leg pain study.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing and 26 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Business as usual at Physio Extra across the Christmas period, keeping you healthy all year round. PhysioExtra.com.
The Prime Minister is hoping to lock in a deal to reduce the cost of electricity at this afternoon's National Cabinet meeting. Michael Packy has more.
Anthony Albanese has been hitting the phones in the last few days, urging New South Wales and Queensland to use state laws to impose a price cap on coal to help bring down the cost of electricity. Both have been reluctant to go down this path, but it now appears they've won federal compensation for some households and businesses. New South Wales has also agreed not to be reimbursed for lost revenue from mining royalties. Queensland is not so keen, given that royalties are propping up the state's budget. The energy issue, along with an update on COVID-19, will dominate National Cabinet this afternoon.
The stage is set for day 2 of the Australia-Windies second test at Adelaide Oval. Attendance on day 1 was just under 24,500. Gates open at 12:30 this afternoon and the first ball is 2:30. 1.7 million Australians are concerned their children will miss out on food over Christmas. Max White has the details.
Research from the Salvation Army suggests the cost of living crisis will force many families into financial hardship over the festive season. The charity says it's experiencing a tsunami of need. A challenging year of record high inflation, interest rate rises and natural disasters means 3 in 10 Australians will struggle to pay for utilities this Christmas. Major Bruce Harmer is concerned some will have to make agonising choices.
Many families are having to choose between providing food for their family or a roof over their head.
The charity is aiming to raise $23 million in its Christmas appeal to support those in need.
Commemorations are being held to mark 4 years since the White Island volcano tragedy off the coast of New Zealand. 22 people, including 14 Australians, were killed in the eruption at the tourist site. The first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary have been released. So far, Buckingham Palace is keeping quiet on the series. UK correspondent Carrie-Anne Greenbank reports.
There's growing controversy over whether the royal family was approached for comment over Harry and Meghan's new series. Netflix saying they were, in particular King Charles and Prince William. Buckingham Palace saying they weren't approached and won't be commenting. King Charles avoiding questioning today while carrying on with royal commitments. He was asked what he thought of the series and whether he'd spoken to Prince Harry, but didn't respond as he attended a church and community centre.
Celine Dion has been diagnosed with an incurable neurological condition. The 54-year-old singer has revealed she has stiff person syndrome. The illness causes muscles to uncontrollably seize up and can leave sufferers unable to walk or talk. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
And it's over to Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. We'll start with cricket, and Travis Head has scored his first Test 100 at Adelaide Oval, capping off a dominant day against the West Indies. Head has told Fox, after being dismissed for 99 in Perth, he was determined to score a century.
Play as straight as possible, which was nice that I did that. Try not to cut it off the stumps. So, look, cricket's a funny game. One run does magical things to the brain, and it was a long week, and nice the next one to get over the line, and now I can forget about that.
Marnus Labuschagne also scored an unbeaten century. Australia begins day 2 at 3 for 330. To footy, in the AFL's gather round has been locked in for SA. The Crows will play Carlton on Thursday night to kick off the first of 9 games. 2 matches will be played at Norwood Oval, while Brisbane and North Melbourne will meet at Mount Barker. General tickets will be $30, while children under 15 are free. To tennis, Nick Kyrgios has gone down to Cam Norrie in the first match at the Diriyah Cup in Saudi Arabia. While finally, the Portuguese Football Federation is denying reports Cristiano Ronaldo threatened to leave the World Cup after being benched against Switzerland. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
26 and cloud clearing today, a late cool change tomorrow, but before that 35. Sunday, a shower or two, 21. Monday, a possible shower back to 19. Right now, it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Imagine the thought of innovation at your fingertips, accelerating with efficiency and power. Imagine a bold, striking design with the comfort and confidence of advanced safety tech. Imagine where you could go in a Hyundai SUV. An SUV range with enough style, tech and performance to turn your imagination into reality. So if you're thinking SUV, think Hyundai SUV. Discover yours at hyundai.com.au.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
24-7. Don't know if it's because all the listeners had a terrific 2022 or they all just want to get 4 kilos of local prawns, but we're getting a lot of entries for the seafood tray this morning. People nominating their best moment of 2022. Thousands of texts, but we'll get to some calls first on 8223 0000. Before we do them, though, we're off to the UK to speak with one of our favourite regulars, our man in London, Vincent McAvenny, who I reckon has had as big a year as probably any journalist in the history of the British Isles. Vincent, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Your head must be spinning after 2022, Vincent. 3 prime ministers, 2 sovereigns, a royal funeral, a royal... well, we haven't had the coronation yet, have we? That's going to be next year, but What a year!
May,
What a year in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got war in Europe as well. We've had our hottest year on record. We've really seen the effects of climate change here. It has been a pretty remarkable year.
Can I ask you, Vincent? There's been a lot of coverage here in Australia of the Netflix doco and its release over the last few days. Harry and Meghan. There almost seems to be a sort of competition among column writers to see who can go the hardest against them. Having said that, though, given the ferocity of some of the claims that they're now making, is there a bit of a toughening of mainstream opinion against them happening in Britain at the moment, do you think?
Well, I've watched the first 3 hours that went out this morning, and obviously there's been a huge reaction here in the UK. I think what is interesting about the documentary is someone who is obviously, people in the UK have kind of had this ongoing soap opera for sort of the last 6 years. There isn't actually that much new, but it is the very personal telling of it, and we hear more about the backgrounds of Prince Harry, how he felt in his childhood, and we hear more about how Meghan actually grew up. And we've kind of just got up to the point of the wedding in these first 3 episodes. I think what is interesting is that there is definitely a generational divide between what people think of them. I think everyone maybe is just a little bit tired of it all, and they hope that after this comes out and the book comes out from Harry in January, that they kind of move on and that there could be some kind of reconciliation. I actually don't think on watching the documentary that it is... I think the most of the criticism comes from the British tabloid press, with Harry making some valid points about how his mother was treated, about the fact that he never kind of, signed up to the life that he lives now, and the way that he was starting to see things go, the early warning signals with Meghan and her treatment. And I think there are some valid criticisms of how our tabloids work and how she was treated, trying to set up a narrative of contrasting her with Kate. And definitely, when you look back at it now, there was a definite racial undertone, which I think is, some of it might be unconscious bias, which is something Harry talks about. I've worked in newsrooms in the UK, and they still are not diverse enough. So, and particularly when it comes to people in management and power, so that kind of thought, which I think crept in, to be called out early enough to stop it becoming a real narrative.
Vincent, given the crazy year that's just preceded today, multiple sovereigns, 3 prime ministers and so forth, does it sort of just feel, and are people starting to get the sense that maybe this is the sort of exact crazy year that should be capped off and will be capped off with England winning the World Cup?
Well, as a half-Irish, half-Scottish person, no comment. So, I'm not thinking... yeah.
Are you practicing the words at the moment, the French national anthem, Vincent?
Yeah. Well, your producer asked me before we came on if we could talk about it, and I just said no. I didn't even know who England were playing this weekend. This is not my area. I will cover what you guys know. I'll cover whatever you ask me to cover. But football is where I draw the line.
I reckon with your heritage, the 3 words you're after ahead of Sunday's game are "Allez les Bleus."
Yeah, vive la France.
Hey Vincent, as we leave you, give us an insight into how the average Briton thinks Rishi Sunak's travelling at the moment.
I think Rishi Sunak has a very simple strategy at the moment. I think we're going to have a relaunch from him in the new year, because he's essentially come in, and I think what people wanted was that we were incredibly tired after the Brexit years, after the pandemic years, and of having kind of messy drama-full prime ministers. So Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, they were... there was a general air of chaos constantly, and and Boris Johnson in particular is someone who craved the attention, always wanted to be front and centre, inserted himself into everything. Rishi Sunak is trying to kind of do what Theresa May did initially, which is be a bit of a submarine, to just kind of disappear so that people kind of can take their mind off of politics and hopefully think everything's humming along. I think his central mission is to bring down inflation. I think he thinks his only chance at the next general election, which is probably 2024, is that the only thing he can do is maybe turn around the economy and then just push everything off. But you are seeing real problems. You know, the Conservative Party in this country is a broad tent, and they've just axed a pledge that they had put in their last manifesto to build 300,000 new homes per year, because we have a massive housing crisis here. And that is all down to the fact that a lot of these backbenchers know that their core votes are the very elderly who already have properties, and they're very NIMBYistic about building of houses. So that is going to just alienate kind of everyone south of 45 who's desperate to get on the housing ladder. I think he is just trying to kind of go slightly under the radar, maybe relaunch. But the attack being made from the Labour Party is that he's just weak. He can't even command his own party. They've cancelled some other policies as well, and a whole bunch of other votes. So it does just feel like he's kind of, you know, if you think about the 12 years in government that they've had so far, this is their fourth Prime Minister, the Conservatives, it does just feel like the guy that's kind of, you know, winding down the business at the end of it. It's a bit like having an administrator in. He's trying to just kind of make it so they don't lose too much at the election. He's just trying to keep the kind of the shop going, and I hope he gets out okay. I think that's the kind of the feeling in Britain generally. It has been, you know, even before the pandemic for us, we had years of turmoil when it came to Brexit, and the last kind of ordinary year that we can remember was a long time ago now. You know, was sort of 2013, 2014. So I think people are just wanting a calmer year. And I think that will be the hope of many people. And even as a journalist, I mean, it kind of feels like this level of drama is unsustainable. So we shall see.
Well, if you do feel like you need a gap year, Vincent, the news beat here in Adelaide is a lot quieter. So you're welcome always to come here and just de-stress for a period, if you like.
Yeah, we're about to cross to our local. We're about to cross, Vincent, to our local police, and quite often when we do that, the biggest story overnight is that somebody's had their bicycle stolen. So if you feel like having a quieter time if it comes to South Australia. Hey, mate, thank you so much for all of your contributions this year, Vincent. Yeah. We love talking to you, and it's been a huge year. And we know that with the time difference, you're often the last thing you do is talking to us before you call it a night. So, mate, have a great Christmas with you and your friends and family, and we'll chat again in the new year. All the very best.
We'll have a great Christmas there too. I'm pretty jealous that you're going to have a warm and sunny one. It definitely would be a nice end to the year. But yeah, talk to you in the New Year's. Have a good one.
Cheers, Vincent.
Our man in London, Vincent McAviney. We are so lucky to have a reporter of his calibre that we can cross to and talk to all the big things that are going on in that part of the world. He's
really a good operator on the fly, isn't he?
Completely.
Like you can chuck any question at him. Apart from, you know, how happy are you about the fact that England are playing France?
He's not going. I wonder how loudly he talks about that in the streets. Or is that just unique content for his Adelaide listeners?
There's plenty of Scottish and Irish people in London you could talk to about it. They probably will feel exactly the same way.
That is true. All right, let's take some Metro Friday calls. The question we're asking you this morning is a simple one. Your highlight of 2022. It is our last show. We've got a whole heap of seafood to give away, thanks to Angelakis Brothers. 4 kilos of local prawns. Roz in Paralawi, what was your highlight?
The highlight for our year, our first great-grandchild was born early hours of the 1st of January this year, little Leo. So we're having our first Christmas at our son's this year with him, so that's all very exciting.
Beautiful. Oh, well, Roz. Congratulations to you, Roz.
How many grandchildren do you have, Roz?
We have 4 grandchildren. So, our oldest one, she's 23. Yeah, and so the next one down is 11, so it'll be a long time before, you know, we have grandchildren, great-grandchildren from them. Yeah, so
well, I've got to say,
exciting.
With my parents being grandparents, it's after the last couple of years, it's nice to be having a Christmas where we're not having to do family head counts to work out how many people we can have around, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Roz. David Alberton, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for another entertaining, informative year. 2 quick ones. One, on a personal and global level, the fact that we can, as you just said, Dave, have things in our backyard, and if we want to get on a plane and head out globally, we can do it again. But on a personal level, my wife had worked very, very hard in her role for about 14 years. It had taken its toll on her, and earlier this year she took a risk, left that position, has gone into another role, and she's absolutely loving it. She's rejuvenated and loves what she does again, and to see her do that, absolute highlight for me.
No, good
Good on you,
Dave.
Dave. That's a lovely suggestion, lovely nomination.
You have a great Christmas, mate. We always love catching up with you, Dave, despite your taste in football teams.
Nobody's perfect.
Thanks, guys. Go on the pair.
Cheers, mate. 13 minutes to 7, 8223 0000 is the number. Seafood tray, thanks to Angelakis Brothers. We'll check traffic, come back with the police and weather.
At Hope Valley, Emergency Waterworks, Green Junction Road near Valley Road. Larks Bay, Carvey Cyclist, Victoria Road near Dover Terrace. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval for the Crickets. And look out for works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue. Cameras today, Baines Road, Woodcroft and Commercial Road at Seaford. Unlock your summer with exceptional savings on the Mercedes-Benz GLE, CLA and C-Class Edition C. Shop online or in-store today. Limited time T&C supply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food lives here. Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah. Foodland.
You're watching the 5AA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
The mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Every year, families all over Adelaide enjoy the festive season with Chanella's, because the great people at Chanella's, they make it so easy to get your shopping done.
Yeah, in fact, to help you organise all your fresh Christmas eating, they'll be open from 6:30am December 23 until 5:30pm December 24. That's 35 hours straight of trading.
Wow.
You'll find all your fresh produce, chef-prepared meals and Christmas platters, bakery, amazing patisserie, seafood, stunning fresh flowers, and all your butchery needs.
So I'm just thinking that through. So that means if at 1:45 in the morning on Christmas Eve you decide to do all your Christmas shopping, you'll be able to go to Chanella's and do it.
Certainly can.
What about that? Now remember too, with Chanella's, everything is lovingly made in-house from scratch by their chefs and their patisserie chefs. So call in a 62 Prospect Road Prospect to Chanella's HQ or go online at chanellasmarket.com.au. Chanella's, best and fresh. It's a way of life this Christmas.
Something for everyone this Christmas at Harvey Norman. Save $80 on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8 Wi-Fi tablet. Now $298. Bonus $50 gift card. Save $300 on the HP 14S laptop with 512 gig storage. Only $498. Save $50 on the JBL Party Box Encore Essential Party Speaker. Only $295. $100 cashback on Nespresso Virtuo Capsule Coffee Machine. Only $299 before cashback. Cashback via redemption. Something for everyone this Christmas at Harvey Norman.
20 years ago, Toyota set the standard for hybrid vehicles with the iconic Prius. Today, they're still leading the way with their Toyota hybrid technology for a cleaner, greener future for all Australians. Jarvis Toyota is Adelaide's home of hybrid. They can get you behind the wheel of your own small, medium or large sedan or SUV with best-in-class fuel economy. Work towards a better future together with Jarvis Toyota. South Road, Clovelly Park, Adelaide's home of hybrid.
Aldi has a lamb leg roast, lamb leg roast, lamb leg roast, an Aussie lamb leg roast for only $11.99 per kilo. Aldi, good, different.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
10 to 7, the market beginning to fill up down here. Seeing some familiar faces. It's a very lovely atmosphere as we speak. Let's talk about the day where I think it's going to be a pretty magnificent one. Tom Bowick, Senior Forecaster at the Bureau, has the details. Morning to you, Tom.
G'day, Dave and Will.
So, Tom, we appear to have this one lonely oasis of sunniness tomorrow before a resumption of some fairly wintry conditions. But it's going to be good for the next sort of 36 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're after some warmer weather, then the next couple of days. So, look, a little bit of cloud around this morning. I think you'll see we'll see that start to sort of clear away as we move into particularly the afternoon period. There's a bit of that high cloud around, a maximum of 26 today for Adelaide, Elizabeth, 25 for Glenelg and Noarlunga, 24 for Mount Barker. And certainly, hot day still coming up tomorrow with northerly winds maximum of 35 degrees. We do have a cool change on its way, though, but it's probably not till overnight Saturday into Sunday, so still be warm into the evening. And then, yeah, as you're saying, cooler conditions coming up next week, a shower or two on Sunday and 21. And really Monday to Thursday of next week, we're in a cool southerly airstream right through the week with temperature around 19 to 20 degrees on all days and a possible shower around.
Good stuff, Tom. Thanks for that, mate.
Tom Bowick, senior forecaster at the Bureau. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Dave Muir is on the line. And Dave, a man's been arrested after a traffic incident at Morphettvale overnight. What's happened?
Yeah, look, just after 1:30, we were called to Wisheath Road, where police had spotted a black Holden sedan speed past them. Now, police were at a unrelated location making some inquiries. So once they completed that, they attended the registered owner's address after a search of the area failed to locate the car. Now, as they approached the property, they saw a man walking through a nearby reserve, spoke with him and ascertained that he was in fact the registered owner. He refused to tell police who was driving the car at the time, and subsequently he was arrested and charged with failing to truly answer. He was also charged with possess a controlled drug after police located an amount of cocaine and ecstasy discarded in a nearby bin. The 28-year-old from Morphettvale, he has been bailed rather, to appear in court on the 6th of January at Christie's Beach.
And Dave, also, this is unbelievable, a drink driver has been done 6 times over the limit and he's driven through roadworks.
Yep, I know. 9:30 last night, we were called to Grand Junction Road after a Mitsubishi van drove through roadworks at speed. Now, the road workers were able to stop the driver and call police. A 40-year-old from Hope Valley was breath tested. He returned an alleged blood alcohol reading of 0.288, so nearly 6 times the legal limit. Checks revealed his licence had also been suspended. So he was reported for drink driving and driving while suspended. He also received an additional 12 months loss of licence and had his vehicle impounded for 28 days, and he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date. And my highlight for the year?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Please, Dave.
Yep. It's still to happen. In fact, it's going to happen later this morning when you guys finish up and you drop into headquarters with a big tray of donuts for us.
Yeah, right.
That'll be the highlight. All right, so we'll see you a bit later.
Righto, Dave. Don't get your hopes
Chief
up, mate.
Wiggum, I am proceeding on foot. Hey, Dave, to you and everyone at SAPOL, thanks so much for all your input this year. We love our morning chats. We love talking to you guys. We love talking to your boss. It's always a good sort of good-natured, down-to-earth discussion of what Adelaide's ratbag community are up to. And you guys all have a happy and safe Christmas. Good on you, mate.
Thank you so much to both of you, and same to you and your families. And we do enjoy talking with you both as well. So yeah, have a great Christmas, guys.
Good on you, Dave. Thank you, mate. All right, let's take some Meat Tray Friday calls and give away this 4 kilos worth of local prawns thanks to Angelakis Brothers. Andrew and Craigmore, good morning. What's your highlight of 2022?
G'day guys, this is the culture vulture of all things 5AA, and I'd just like to say, I just thank 5AA, all their listeners, all you guys, and all the people from behind the scenes at your company or whatever it is, for all the hard work you do for raising the money for the people who need it and the charities. I'm so proud to be one of your listeners, and I'm so proud that you guys are South Australian. Thanks so very much.
Andrew, that's lovely of you to say, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Very generous.
You know what? We have some good fun doing it too.
Yeah,
it's not,
exactly.
It's not entirely laborious.
It's not really a chore.
It's not. No, it's right. We actually quite enjoy it. Rosemary, good morning. What was your highlight of 2022?
Morning, David and Will. Firstly, I'd like to say that we have the best police force in South Australia, and I reiterate what that last gentleman just said. My highlight of the year, because it's been a downer, was when Leith Forest rang me out of the blue and asked me to come in to do a segment on the afternoon show when Timmy was away.
Yeah, you're one of the rookie elevations, Rosemary.
I was, and I didn't even apply, so it just made me feel so it was so personal because I listen all the time as well, but on the way in, another highlight was when they announced that little Rosie May was born. It was
That's so nice of you to say, Rosemary.
Cheers. And then
See, this is our last show for the year, Rosemary. Will said after his daughter was born that he's become a bit of a softie, a bit of the old Iceman that he was has broken. So maybe you can end the year by weeping openly on air.
I tell you, if Rosemary keeps saying nice things, I'm going to. Thank you, Rosemary.
Good on you, Rosemary. Have a great Christmas.
Have a terrific Christmas. Well, I'll take one more before the break. Jenny in Parkside, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Now, my highlight of the year has given me a voice, and it has taken my struggle from all my years of homelessness to being housed. But the Anti-Poverty Network actually gave me friends, people that supported me, and I don't feel invisible anymore.
Oh, Jenny, that's such a moving call.
Wow, what an amazing year.
Good on you, Jenny. Tell you what, it's a scourge, isn't it, homelessness? And it's one of the reasons why we love working with Hutt Street and Catherine House, so many different drivers of what puts people on the street.
What Jenny said captures part of it that I don't think anyone recognises, that we can't recognise because having not experienced it. You think of the immediate problems like shelter being cold and food. The idea that you're dehumanised.
Yeah.
You're no longer seen as a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a level of psychological torture.
Well, there's a degree of judgmentalism.
Yes.
I would actually admit that on occasions myself have walked past someone and thought, when you see a young man, able-bodied man, sometimes I think, come on, mate, get your act together. And what right have I got to be that judgmental?
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know what's going on in someone's life.
I think we all feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And
No,
Jenny's call
Jenny.
puts in perspective
Certainly does.
the battles of what's going on. Good on you.
Quick text here from Mark, and I've got to say, Mark, I'm with you. He says his highlight for 2022, he's been scrambling to see all of the bands that had to reschedule due to COVID. I reckon every other month someone will get an email going, oh, we got tickets to this show. I'm like, oh, I bought them a year ago.
Yeah.
But they're finally here.
Absolutely.
Good
All
on
right,
you, mate.
5AA News time. We're going to come back with our wrap of the week. Phil Curry is coming up after 7:30, and plenty more time for your Seafood Tray Friday calls, thanks to Angelakis Brothers, on your highlights of 2022.
Good pals are hard to find, but at Parafield Airport Liquor Store, hard to find is our specialty. Whether you're after old reliable pals or want some new pals, Sam, Jamie and the team know just the pals for you. They've made pals with over 200 gins, over 300 craft beers, over 500 whiskies from around the world, and over 2,000 wines. Parafield Airport Liquor Store, Pals, open till late 7 days, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Now, I heard about Toop Switch recently from Toop and Toop Real Estate. If a landlord isn't happy with their agency, they can switch to Toop and Toop, and in most cases, it costs nothing.
Now, this really is amazing. Who wouldn't want their property looked after by the best in the business too? Because at Toops, the service and tech alone, that of itself means it's worth making the switch.
It just takes a phone call too. Toop and Toop organise everything, even dealing with the other agency on your behalf. It's that easy. Just let them do the legwork.
That's right. Completely awesome. Landlords, if you want the best in the business taking care of your investment, get started by calling 8362 8888 or by visiting the Toop website, toop.com.au today.
Is it possible to create tomorrow's car today? Hyundai believes so. Take the Tucson, Hyundai's midsize SUV, featuring a revolutionary look, intuitive interior, advanced tech, and safety. You can enjoy all this in the Tucson Turbo Diesel all-wheel drive. Available now. Tomorrow's car is here today. Hyundai Tucson, in stock now. Visit Hyundai.com.au. Imagine that. Hyundai.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing 26 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Give the gift of health this Christmas with a Physio Extra Pilates or massage gift voucher. PhysioExtra.com.
A driver has been caught nearly 6 times over the legal limit after making an unexpected detour. Senior Constable Dave Muir says they caught up with him at Hope Valley.
9:30 last night, we were called to Grand Junction Road after a Mitsubishi van drove through roadworks at speed. Now, the road workers were able to stop the driver and call police.
The 40-year-old man recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.288. He was also suspended from holding a licence. He's been reported, lost his licence, had the car impounded and will front court at a later date. A car fire at Christie's Beach is being treated as arson. The owner reported their Mazda hatchback on fire in their Cocking Road front yard just before 5 this morning. Investigations are continuing. Riverland communities are continuing their preparations for rising floodwaters. Flows are forecast to soon hit 190 gigalitres a day, rising to 220 by early next year. SES Chief Chris Beattie has warned around 4,000 properties are set to be inundated.
The important thing for those communities to understand when they need to leave, what the last safe moment is, to prepare their properties to secure valuables, to relocate their property to either high ground or out of the floodplain to another location.
Households and businesses are likely to be compensated as part of a push to bring down the cost of electricity. The deal is part of the federal government's negotiations between New South Wales and Queensland to cap the price of coal. It's understood the rebates will be paid until lower electricity prices start flowing through to consumers. The agreement is expected to be ratified at today's virtual National Cabinet meeting. The first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan's Netflix series have been released. The Duke opening up about the death of his mother and why he blames the media. He's compared Meghan's troubles fitting into the royal family to those of Diana.
So much of what Meghan is and how she is so similar to my mum. She has the same compassion, she has the same empathy, she has the same confidence. She has this warmth about her.
The US President has completed a prisoner swap, freeing basketballer Brittany Griner from a Russian jail. Notorious arms dealer Victor Bout will be released back to Moscow after spending the last 12 years behind bars in the United States. Now the 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
And it's over to Jace Kemp, who's checking the sport. And let's just see what's happening. Jace, what is happening with the cricket?
Oh, there's so much going on, Mel, and that's where we'll start. Travis Head has scored his first Test 100 at Adelaide Oval, capping off a dominant day against the West Indies. Head has told Fox after being dismissed for 99 in Perth, he was determined to score a century.
Play as straight as possible, which was nice that I did that. Try not to cut it off the stumps. So, look, cricket's a funny game. One run does magical things to the brain, and it was a long week, and nice the next one to get over the line, and now I can forget about that.
Marnus Labuschagne also scored an unbeaten century. Australia begins day 2 at 3 for 330. To footy in the AFL's gather round has been locked in for SA. The Crows will play Carlton on Thursday night to kick off the first of 9 games. 2 matches will be played at Norwood Oval, while Brisbane and North Melbourne will meet at Mount Barker. General tickets will be $30, while children under 15 are free. To tennis, Nick Kyrgios has gone down to Cam Norrie in the first match at the Diriyah Cup in Saudi Arabia. Well, finally, the Portuguese Football Federation is denying reports Cristiano Ronaldo threatened to leave the World Cup after being benched against Switzerland. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Hope Valley, Emergency Waterworks, Grand Junction Road near Valley Road. Lions Bay, Carvey Cyclists, Victoria Road near Dover Terrace. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval. That's for the cricket. And look out for works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue. Speeds are down to 40 k's. Got cameras this morning at George Street, Norwood, and Happy Valley Drive at Happy Valley. Trades and builders, power your business with Bunnings Trade Power Pass. Enjoy flexible payment options, including credit and 30-day accounts. Search Bunnings Trade Power Pass. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
A top of 26 today and cloud clearing. A late cool change tomorrow, but before that, a top of 35. Sunday, a shower or two, 21. Monday, a possible shower, 19. Right now, it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
5 after 7 if you're joining us for the first time this morning, live from the Adelaide Central Market. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing through, and it's teasing a bit because the reality is it's actually going to be a pretty warm day today.
It's quite cool at the moment, though.
It is
Will's
cool.
I've
got my jumper on.
Will's got his jumper on. Is that a Peter Shearer number, Will? No, looks like you've got that one at Target, actually.
No.
I won't mention that.
Yeah,
I've got a t-shirt.
What does Lucy call it? The Red Spot Boutique?
Red Spot Boutique,
Yeah.
Target. Target. With a being a francophile, we should pronounce it Target. But yeah, you might need a cardi. Most people here at the market are getting around with some sort of hooded top on at the moment.
Good hot beverage weather. Come in, have a coffee, and get your shopping sorted.
Get some soup at Atlas. They do great soups over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil Curry coming up after 7:30 this hour. Flashback with Michael Smith. And, of course, right throughout the morning, we're taking entries for the seafood tray this morning to get you sorted for Christmas. 4 kilos of local prawns from the Angelakis brothers, who you'll find store 5 or 6 here in the markets. We're asking you about your highlight of 2022. Let's talk about some of the news that's knocking around this morning. And I think the biggest one that's going to affect a host of listeners is that the federal government could fund energy rebates for low-income households if the states cap coal and gas prices. New South Wales are largely on board with this plan. Queensland still need to be brought to the table a little bit, but that's the headliner. We're at a point now where there might be some the relief on energy bills, which will appear on your bill for people that are low-income earners. The expectation is there'll be a 56% increase in prices over the next 2 years. The cap the federal government's talking about works on the per gigajoule price of gas. So right now it's $23 a gigajoule. It'd be $13 under the price cap arrangement. So that gives you a sense. It's pretty significant. It's almost halving the price per unit. The downside risk that the opposition are warning about, and some within the industry, is if the price is limited in Australia, what stops you going, well, I'll sell it overseas and I'll sell it elsewhere? So it's a delicate balancing act, making it profitable for the local producers, but at the same time providing people on low incomes with some energy relief.
I tell you what, though, like, it's all well and good and appropriate that people on low incomes are getting relief, but what about middle Australia? Like, there are stacks and stacks of people who are earning what's seen as reasonably good money, like people on pretty good money. Let's say people who have got a combined household income of $150,000. But you factor in 8 successive interest rate rises, you factor in your payments and your rego and insurance on 2 cars, you factor in your private health insurance. Now, a 56% increase when power bills already for a lot of people are up to $2,000 or even more a quarter.
Yep. 56% increase over the next 2 years.
That's like an extra $4,000 or $5,000 a year for a lot of people.
I'm going to do the thing you should never do on radio, and that's try and do some quick maths.
So it's the thing we should never do on radio.
We should do. You're right. $150,000 a year. Using that metric I mentioned the other day about the increase in number of people who have mortgages that are 6 times average income. That's $900,000 mortgage.
Yeah.
We know those around the $1 million mark are paying about $1,600 a month extra as a result of these increases from the start of the year to now. So you're probably paying $1,400 a month extra, $400 a week on someone on a, as you say, that's a totally average household income.
All of the inputs that I just mentioned, I'd actually say that even families that are earning like $200,000 will be going, hang on a minute, where's all our money going?
Well, then they have a $1 million mortgage. Or a
$750,000 mortgage.
Absolutely.
So
anyway,
it's often the people in the middle who are the ones who end up on the edge because they're not down on their heel financially enough to qualify for any assistance.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But they're not lighting cigars with $100 bills either.
Yeah, it's a really good point. The explosive Harry and Meghan Netflix docu-series has been released. The 6-part series it is. I think a lot of people that have watched the first 3. I think Mel Usher back at 5AA's taken to it. I saw on Twitter talking about it last night. Vincent McAviney has mentioned to us that he started watching it and spoke about some of the revelations. Have a listen to a little bit of what's come out.
To the time that I was in the UK, I rarely wore color. There was thought in that. To my understanding, you can't ever wear the same color as Her Majesty if there's a group event. But then you also shouldn't be wearing the same color as one of the other more senior members of the family. So I was like, well, what's a color that they'll probably never wear? Camel, beige, white. So I wore a lot of muted tones, but it also was so I could just blend in. Like, I'm not trying to stand out here. There's no version of me joining this family and trying to not do everything I could to fit in. I don't want to embarrass the family.
Now, that almost sounds like satire to me, because if you think about it in a sort of that's constructed as a piece of media, the thing that gets me the most about that is the disconnect between the music in the background and the magnitude of the horror she's describing.
But could you imagine having to choose what colour you wear on the basis of where you fit in the royal family? I mean, what an imposition.
The music that they were playing is the type of music you would normally use when you're interviewing someone who's lost their entire family in a terrible car accident, as opposed to someone who's having wardrobe-related issues. Dead set. Like Vincent McAmini, when we spoke to him, he's extremely charitable, and I think like his starting point for a lot of it, and until recently it was mine, was Harry can say pretty much what he likes, given the extent to which his mother had her life destroyed by all of the intrusiveness and the pressures that they were under, and clearly there's issues within the royal family. But having said all of that, these people sound like they could whinge for Britain at the Olympics. Like, it is just extraordinary. And the big fundamental problem is the logical inconsistency of it all. Namely, your starting point can't be we value our privacy above all else, and then you do a tell-all multi-million-dollar Netflix documentary about every aspect of your private life. Like, there's just a logical flaw to it, isn't there?
That grab confirmed every worst fear I had about that documentary. The other thing is, if you're not watching on the Foodland Supermarket, Facebook and YouTube live feed, thanks to the Foodland Supermarkets, you missed the moment David's brain broke during that grab. It had needed to be seen. He had a physical reaction that needed to be seen to be believed. Hey, just lastly, happy unbirthday to everyone in South Korea. This is extraordinary. Everyone in South Korea is about to become 1 or 2 years younger.
Oh, that sounds good.
Very least,
how does that work?
According to their official paperwork, the South Korean Parliament's passed a law to scrap Korea's 2 traditional methods of counting age. So the Korean age system doesn't exist any longer, whereby you are 1 year old at the moment of your birth. That's how they've traditionally counted age.
So you're not 0?
You're not 0, you're 1. Then there's the counting age. This is even more peculiar. The counting age is a person's age is calculated from 0 at birth, and a year is added every 1st of January. It's almost like the horse's birthday. That's the one that they use to determine when you can drink and when you can vote, when you become of legal age, so to speak. So, for example, according to the BBC, as of the 8th of December, a person who was born on the 31st of December 2002 is 19 right now. They were 20 under the counting system and 21 under the Korean system.
That's bizarre.
Totally bizarre. One of the few places on earth that does that.
If you're a 22-year-old Korean, you get to have your 21st again.
You get to have it all again.
How good's that?
Not bad. All your significant birthdays you could do
nice,
again.
Wouldn't it? I wouldn't mind being 51.
Scrap a couple of years off. Wouldn't be
too
bad.
What are you, 38?
39.
39?
Yeah.
You're 40 next year?
Yeah.
Wow. You having a party?
I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Can I come?
Lucy's nodding along.
Yeah. Luce and I, we're going to be there, aren't we, Luce? I mean, regardless of whether there's a party or not.
You might be the only two.
We're just going to turn up one night.
14 after 7, the Advertiser Foundation, in conjunction with Bird and Hand and Foodland, they're putting on a Christmas party for 100 vulnerable clients of Kickstart for Kids this Saturday, doing it at the magnificent grounds of the Bird and Hand Winery. Dan DeMaria from the Kickstart for Kids fundraiser joins us. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pembo. Will, how are you, boys?
We're good, thanks, Dan. Now, this is a great initiative by the Advertiser Foundation. I know from many years of our association that you do so much work. But, you know, thinking about kids Christmas is a time when, you know, for a lot of kids it's just one non-stop party, you know, presents and great food and all of that. So tell us about what you guys are up to for these poor kids.
Yeah, thanks, Pepper. Every year we do this Christmas Kids Appeal, you know, raising money for kids doing it tough. We've got 100 clients of Kickstart for Kids coming up tomorrow. Our friends at Bird and Hand putting on a nice barbecue sausage sizzle. Foodland are donating all of the sausages and the onions and the water. We're going to be cooking it up. We've got toys we've collected. The Advertiser staff have, dug their deep hand in their pocket and got some toys, and we've got some really good donations. So we're spreading a little bit of joy. Last week we went up to Mannum and Renmark and Wakebury because, of course, we've got kids flood affected this year as well. So we're also raising money for flood affected kids. We had the Port Boys and the Crows guys that came up. We've also got Foodland doing Santa selfies. So you probably know, instead of paying $25 for your Santa, you can go to Foodland in gold coin donation or go to the Advertiser Foundation and get yourself a Santa selfie. So we've got all those details up on the Advertiser Foundation Facebook page, and if people want to donate as well, you can scan the QR code and help out. But tomorrow, great, with Bird in Hand at Foodland, just give you a bit of joy to the kids. They're going to be doing it pretty tough this Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful cause, and we wish you all the best with it, Dan.
Good on you, Dan.
Absolutely. Dan DeMaria from the Advertiser Foundation on that wonderful Kickstart for Kids charity fundraiser. Let's check traffic. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
At Hope Valley, emergency waterworks, Green Junction Road near Valley Road. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval. That's for the cricket. Got works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue, speeds at 40. Starting to get busy, South Road as you're driving through Mile End. And look out for cameras today, Greenhill Road, Burnside and Gage Streets at Firle. Order your barista-made iced lattes on the OTR app. It's quick, convenient, and every fifth C coffee is free. Open 24/7. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
There's taste bud titillations, decadent desires, and the presidential hamper. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm Brett Charlesworth, and they're just 3 of the mouth-watering Christmas gifts we make for you at Charlesworth Nuts. With 100 different gifts, from just $10 to $250, there is literally something for everyone. They're all beautifully handmade, they look stunning, and they're filled with the most amazing products. 11 family-owned stores or shop online. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
This is your time to experience the best of life in your new luxury apartment. Meticulously crafted from the ground up. Choose from a range of spacious 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments at Adelaide's most sought-after address, 88 O'Connell. Just a short walk to the CBD with picturesque views across the city, hills or coastline. Enjoy the convenience of a ground floor marketplace with bar and dining, pools and gymnasium. Apartments are selling fast. Visit 88o'connell.com.
Introducing Nissan Future Value Business Plus, a new fleet finance solution for small to medium businesses offering competitive weekly repayments, including the cost of scheduled servicing for the loan term. Available now on the all-new Nissan Qashqai ST. Plan confidently for the road ahead with Nissan Future Value Business Plus. Visit nissan.com.au/business plus or contact your local Nissan dealer. Approved ABN registered small to medium fleet applicants of Nissan Financial Services. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
You're off then?
Yes, dear.
The backyard needs a good trim with the ride-on mower.
Totally. The kids will be done shortly, so they need picking up from the oval.
Good plan. Why are you giving me the car keys?
You can't walk to the oval, silly. Oh, don't worry, the backyard will look fantastic by the time you get back. Mwah.
Okay, dear. But I get the ride-on next time?
We'll see. Probably not.
Stanford Mowers for ride-ons. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Now, this was an absolute blast this week out on the balcony with Barnesy as he was basting that beautiful ham from Austral Meats. A 5AA favourite, Barnesy, from the Barbecue Adelaide Weber stores, Jeps Cross and Mile End. He wants to give you the good oil this Christmas.
Yes, if Christmas is at your joint this year and you have family and friends dropping in, the first thing you need to do is get into Barbecue Adelaide Weber stores, Jeps Cross or Mile End, and set yourself up for it.
We absolutely love the visit we did the other day to the store in Mile End. Barbecue Adelaide Weber stores, Jeps Cross and Mile End. Not only do they have the full range of Weber barbecues, they've got all of the Yeti gear under the sun. I'm currently drinking out of one of those thermos Yeti cups.
They are unbelievable.
I made that coffee at home at 5:20. It's still piping hot. They're sensational. Plus then there's the rubs, the sauces, more than you can poke your tongs at for an epic Christmas lunch or dinner. So call in, have a chat with Barnesy and the team. He'll give you everything you need for the ultimate Christmas lunch.
For everything Barbie and Christmas this year, head to Barbecue Adelaide Weber stores, Jeps Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
Ready for serious value this Black Friday? Score an awesome deal on your internet with Australia's most trusted telco, Aussie Broadband. Save $120 over 12 months on selected high-speed NBN plans so you can work, stream and play like never before. All backed by 100% Australian-based award-winning customer service. Hurry, offer ends December 12. Visit aussiebroadband.com.au for more Black Friday deals. Based on Roy Morgan's 2022 risk report. New customers only. T's and C's apply.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
21 after 7. It's time for some Timmy G.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Jennifer.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
Timmy, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to your last show. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, mate. Didn't you think we were going to make it?
Push to the line, boys. Push to the line. Hey, last week, I know we had a bit of a chat about the name. I feel like this is going to be my Timmy G breaking at 7:20 this morning, but just have a listen to our discussion about the name of the Magic Round last week.
There's been discussion about what they call the Magic Round, what name they're going to give it, because they don't want to keep calling it the Magic Round or just slavishly follow the NRL model of calling it the Magic Round. One name that's in the mix is the Gather Round, I've heard.
The Gather Round.
The Gather Round. Yeah.
Oh dear! If they do something like that, I think it'll automatically become laughable. And I think if we're going to have the Gather Round, we might as well all wear helmets like you've got on at the moment.
Oh dear! How about that,
Timmy?
We nailed it, Tim.
Yeah, well, you did, mate. You're very good at leaking information, and that was brilliant. And unfortunately, we're going to have to live with it now. Look, our listeners gave some great suggestions, and I settled on Great Southern Round. I thought that was an excellent one, and we could steal the Ice House song and put that alongside it. But yeah, that was probably not the only thing that disappointed me. We just couldn't get that game in the Barossa. Now, I was up there last week with Roey's ride to the Rusden, and it was they were really disappointed. I know that they went through, every possible detail they possibly could to get it there, and it just sort of said to me, they played a game in Williston. Port Adelaide played GWS in Williston, so that's the gateway to the Barossa. They pretty much consider themselves involved there, but it said to me they wanted to have it elsewhere just to say we're the boss. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree.
We could have had one in the Hills and the Barossa, I reckon, Dave.
Well, doesn't it feel like, and without mind my language, but it makes the whole idea feel totally half-assed. Do we need to show two games at the parade to show off South Australian football?
Tim, I would love your thoughts as someone who bleeds black and white. Why did Norwood get 2 games?
Look, I'll tell you now, if you were Dinkum, and they picked the Barossa to bits, every oval wasn't this, it was too wide, too small, too whatever, you wouldn't play a game at Norwood Oval because its dimensions are not anywhere near any of the major grounds that the AFL play on. So it said to me, its proximity wins it. And I think playing a game at the parade would be awesome. Shut it off, make it look like the old parade food and wine festival, and what a great atmosphere. But 2 games, I think 1 was plenty, and then I think we should have another one out there in the Barossa. And it just says to me that I reckon, it just reeked of releasing your first round on the morning of the Socceroos final.
Yeah, well, that was a PR success.
I'm looking forward to the Victorian Gather Round, where I've heard they're going to have a game at the MCG and at Marvel Stadium. So that's going to be a real treat.
Maybe 2 at Prince's Park as well.
Spread it out.
Hey, wouldn't that be something? Real showcase.
I reckon Mount Gambier was shafted. I reckon they should have done about 3 or 4 regional ones.
Completely.
It would have been great. And I still reckon an 11 a.m. game at Hickenbotham that was over by 2:30, so you could spend the rest of the afternoon wine tasting in McLaren Vale and then go to the Cube for dinner would have been absolutely fantastic.
I agree, David. I thought this was about showcasing each state, and I think you're dead right. We could have done one north, south, and in the hills without any problems whatsoever. Yeah, pretty disappointing, I think. So, yeah, not happy with that one, mate, but I was happy with the Rod Marsh Memorial that they revealed yesterday at the Adelaide Oval. I thought what a brilliant gesture for a guy that was, massive to certainly my generation growing up. I mean, I don't know about you, David, but backyard cricket, we had a simple rule. If you pushed forward, got an edge and it hit the water tank, that was Rodney Marsh. You're out.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Tim, that was such an amazingly quick turnaround getting the Rod Marsh Memorial sculpture up and running. I reckon it was less than 6 months ago. We had somebody on the show talking about how they were desperate to do it in time for the Adelaide Test, and Andrew Sinclair yesterday reading the under under the Southern Cross I Stand poem, and the fact that there's the wattle tree there, standing there in Rod's memory, absolutely perfect tribute, given that he did end up making Adelaide his home.
Yes, spot on. And, you know, we spoke last night, and Ricky Ponting the night before, he ran the Adelaide Academy here for so long, and it started at the Alberton Hotel, can you believe it? Upstairs at the Alberton Hotel were, one year, Justin Langer, Ricky Ponting and Shane Warne.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good on you, Tim. Thanks, mate. And
Brilliant, guys.
Tim,
thanks.
if we don't see each other, have a good Christmas. Have a great Christmas, mate. Good having you back on the airwaves too.
Brilliant. Boys, I look forward to talking to you all year next year.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, Timmy. The full fixture for the gather round: Crows Carlton Thursday night, Friday at 5:10 p.m. Freo Gold Coast. That's tough to watch if you work in Perth. That's at Nord Oval. Richmond Sydney then at Adelaide Oval on Friday night. Saturday is Lions North Melbourne in the Adelaide Hills. That's going to be good. Essendon Melbourne kicks off the double header at Adelaide Oval. Then Port Bulldogs is the second leg of the double header. That'll be a huge crowd Saturday night. Sunday's Geelong West Coast at Adelaide Oval into a double header with Collingwood St Kilda. The game in between is GWS Hawthorn again at Nord Oval.
I've got to say, I don't mind the gather round. At first blush, it's you think, well, the gather round. I mean, what it's called doesn't really matter anyway.
No, not really.
And gather round is no more or less silly than magic round. I mean, what, you're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat or something? What, the magic round?
It's nothing magic about it, you know.
The Magic Man.
We're going to have a game at different grounds.
She can be magic. The Magic Man.
We've come a long way since Merlin, haven't we? You know,
that's right.
What is magic in 2022? It's a fixture, but it's a little bit different.
That's right.
28 after 8, 5AA News coming up. Phil Curry next.
Australia, this Christmas, enjoy in-season fruit and veg at Coles.
Right now, 100% Aussie honey gold mangoes are in season and only $2.40 each.
In season at Coles. That's value the Australian way.
Offer ends Tuesday.
Mono, the comedy sensation sweeping across the nation. Max Gillies and John Wood. Emily Tahini. These guys are good. In Mono, at the Adelaide Festival Centre, you'll be glad you went to Mono. Now, what's the show about? About 90 minutes, in and out. Wood, Gillies and Tahini are the best you've ever seen. Ah, and from now until Christmas Eve, here's a deal you won't believe. Every ticket to Mono is just $55, plus the booking fee, which always sucks. Unlike Mono! Ring 131246. Do it now to get your ticks to Mono. It's good. It's got John Wood.
Well, the big race has been run and won, and that means the even bigger race, the plant sale, is now on.
You think V8s are fast. Wait till you see David get into this. The FIVEAA Adelaide 500 plant sale is the biggest plant sale of the year. It's on right now at Victoria Park. All the plants in the Adelaide 500 stands, marquees and corporate hospitality areas are all up for sale, and they all have to go.
Now, this is your once-in-a-year chance to pick up top-quality decorative and flowering plants. We're talking gardenias, magnolias, ferns, hedging plants, feature trees, one of Will's favourites, Ficus lyrata.
Oh, yeah.
And he also loves his topiary. Then, this would probably suit him in all seriousness, drought-tolerant plants you can just leave there and ignore, and they thrive despite your best efforts to neglect them, all at ridiculous prices.
I've got a specialty with weeds, actually. They seem to thrive. I don't
Salvation
know. Whatever I'm doing it
That's
right.
right.
Make sure you get it early for great bargains. It really is a once-in-a-year opportunity.
That's right. Green thumbs, start your engines. It's the FIVEAA Adelaide 500 plant sale. Starts today at 8 a.m, runs all week until Sunday at Victoria Park. Enter through Gate 1, off Halifax Street, and follow the signs.
Hey, you in the car. If your next service is due, just remember that Mawson Lakes Mazda has your back. We'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on us. Your car gets the love too, with our state-of-the-art service centre brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, we'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing 26 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Business as usual at Physio Extra across the Christmas period, keeping you healthy all year round. PhysioExtra.com.
A drink driver ran into roadworks last night. It happened on Grand Junction Road at Hope Valley shortly before 9:30. Senior Constable Dave Muir says they were called to deal with the Mitsubishi van.
A 40-year-old from Hope Valley was breath tested. He returned an alleged blood alcohol reading of 0.288, so nearly 6 times the legal limit. Checks revealed his licence had also been suspended.
He's been reported and will front court at a later date. Almost 1,000 properties along the River Murray are now inundated by rising water levels. Latest modelling shows flows will peak at 190 to 220 gigalitres around Christmas and the New Year. SES Chief Chris Beattie says emergency services have door-knocked over 5,000 properties at risk.
We've got a number of communities right across the upper Riverland areas, Murraylands and indeed down in the lower river sections that will either become fully inundated or completely isolated. And whether that's Paisleys or Young Husband, we're working with those communities to ensure that households are prepared, they have a plan, they know when they're going to need to leave.
Residents from around 650 properties intend to remain once flooding starts. Households and businesses may be offered rebates as part of negotiations to bring down the cost of electricity. Michael Packy has the details.
The Prime Minister had been due to meet Premiers and Chief Ministers face-to-face on Wednesday, but the meeting was cancelled after he tested positive for COVID-19. Anthony Albanese will now hold virtual talks with state and territory leaders this afternoon. He's expected to strike a deal with New South Wales and Queensland to cap the price of coal in a bid to bring down the cost of power. Given it could take up to a year before the actual reduction flows through, electricity rebates are being considered for some households and businesses. The price of gas will also be capped.
Plenty of people made their way to Adelaide Oval after work last night to see the Aussies and Windies in action. Attendance was just under 24,500. A bigger crowd is expected today, with gates open at 12:30, play getting underway at 2:30. The first test in Perth averaged just 8,000 punters a day. There's already plenty of fallout from the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix. The first 3 episodes were released on the streaming service last night. Prince Harry likening his wife to his mother Princess Diana multiple times, saying he defied expectations when starting the relationship.
For so many people in the family, especially obviously the men, there can be a temptation or an urge to marry someone who would fit the mould, as opposed to somebody who you perhaps are destined to be with.
A disclaimer at the start of the program says members of the royal family declined to comment. Palace sources say no one at either Buckingham Palace or Kensington Palace was approached for comment by Netflix. And Jackie Chan is heading back to the big screen. He's confirmed Rush Hour 4 is happening and co-star Chris Tucker will be back for the next instalment. The first movie came out in 1998. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. We'll start with cricket, and Travis Head has become the first South Australian batter to score a Test century at Adelaide Oval in 27 years. Marnus Labuschagne also notched an unbeaten 100 and was full of praise for his Adelaide teammate.
I've been playing with Travis since we were 12. He's always been able to change the game. You know, I've played many games against Travis where we've got South Australia on the ropes, and Travis comes out and he just changes the game. Batted beautifully last week, should have got 100, missed out unfortunately, and then came in well deserved the 100 today.
Play will resume today with the Aussies at 3 for 330. To footy, the AFL's gather round has been locked in. Brisbane and North Melbourne will play in Mount Barker, while Fremantle and Gold Coast and GWS and Hawthorn will meet at Norwood Oval. The Crows will kick off the fixture against Carlton under lights on Thursday night. To swimming, in the FINA Short Course World Championships begin next week. Rising star Lani Pallister telling Wide World of Sports she's excited to be training alongside Mac Horton and Kaylee McEwen.
For me, it's an exciting opportunity to go down and race and show the Australian public that the hard work that we put in is for a result, and hopefully we can give them a little bit of a show in terms of how swimming is on the international stage, and I hope everyone that comes down and watches has heaps of fun doing it.
The 36ers are back in action against the Wildcats at the Entertainment Centre tonight, while Adelaide United is back against Brisbane after the A-League's World Cup break. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Good morning. At Hope Valley, look out for emergency waterworks today. Grand Junction Road near Valley Road causing a few delays. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed in front of the Adelaide Oval again today. That is for the cricket. Keep that in mind. Got works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue. Speeds at 40. We're getting busy at the moment. South Road at Mile End. Look out for cameras at Walkerville Terrace, Gilberton and Sheriff's Road at Morford Vale. Coming to 40 Winks for the colossal King Coil sale. Get up to 50% of the King Coil mattress range. Hurry, end Sunday. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 40 Winks, serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic at 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Cloud clearing today and 26, 35 tomorrow, then a late cool change. Sunday a shower or two, 21. Monday a possible shower, 19. Right now it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
23 minutes till 8. We are flashing back in time with Michael Smith from 7 News very shortly. Then after 8 o'clock, we're giving away this seafood tray thanks to Angelakis Brothers. 4 kilos of local prawns as you nominate your highlight of 2022. Lots of lovely texts coming through that we're not going to be able to get to all of them, but let's just acknowledge that broadly they are just beautiful, so we thank you. Lots of calls too. Keep them coming in. 8223 0000 is the number. Let's head to Canberra and talk federal politics with Phil Curry, because a pretty consequential meeting of National Cabinet today. Phil, good morning to you. We've spent a bit of time already talking about the potential for these energy rebates as a byproduct of capping the gas and coal prices. Is it clear yet who will be eligible to get the rebate? They've said broadly low-income earners, but do we know how that's defined?
Well, we don't even know, and we don't even know who's getting it, because it's something New South Wales is asking for its citizens. It's not necessarily going to go everywhere else.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's a complete tumult. This thing is being made up as it goes along, and it'll probably change again. What's happening is New South Wales, for example, if they bring in these caps, is going to lose all these royalties on coal, about $100 million. And they've said to the Commonwealth government, "Oh, don't give us, don't compensate us for the royalties. Instead, give it to our citizens as a rebate." Right? So it's pretty clever, because they're a Liberal government. They've got an election in March, and they've just convinced the federal government to send out cheques pre-election to New South Wales residents. But I'm not sure whether they go wider or not. It was really unclear late yesterday, because there's no reason why, say, South Australians would get a rebate, because you're not losing coal royalties, so there's no need to compensate South Australia for everything. The whole thing is a real mess. I suspect if they have to give them to one state, they'll have to give to everyone else.
Surely they can't. You can't have a national rebate scheme that's only available in New South Wales.
But the only reason they're talking about a rebate is because they've got to pay 2 states money, Queensland and New South Wales, because they'll lose revenue with these caps. So one of the states is saying, "Well, we don't want the rebate; just give it to our people as a cheque." But South Australia's not losing money if they do these caps. So why should South Australia be given money in compensation? This is what I mean. It's so complicated. But I suspect everyone will get a national rebate, because they won't have these. They won't have these rules in time. For anyone to get a meaningful power increase early, so you might get something up front.
We had Albo on the show earlier this week, Phil, only a few hours before he came down with the Rona.
You cursed
how do you, yeah, that's right. At the end of the year, looking back at it, how it's all gone, I mean, he was probably never fancied internally within the Labor Party as prime ministerial material, yet here he is. How do you think he's settling into the role?
Oh, look, he had a really good first 6 months. I thought, I think everyone was surprised how well they did. Including the government, but look, they sort of brought back calm and process to politics and substance, and they used the Parliament again. The Morrison government didn't really like Parliament. They didn't do much when it was sitting. This mob has been very busy. They've just been putting bill after bill before the Parliament, getting their agenda underway, and that sort of restores sort of order back to the place, and it makes them look like they're doing stuff, and you're talking about their agenda. So they've had a good, a really strong start. But we're just tailing off now with this energy ministers meeting, and that shows how difficult things are going to get for them. This has been really messy the last few days. will probably just take a bit of a gloss off going into Christmas. But they're very happy, and I think they're entitled to be very happy the way it's all been going. But we're going to go into next year. Your power bills are going to be high. You're going to get a couple of other interest rate rises, and I think they're fairly realistic about how difficult things are going to get for them.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, mate, we can't thank you enough for the contribution that you make to our show. We love the fact not only that you're, good knockabout bloke who provides such earthy analysis, but also that you're one of ours. You're a South Aussie there, Peterborough's own Phil Curry, based in Canberra. So you always bring a uniquely South Australian take to it. You mean a lot to our listeners. I was at a South Australian Geographical Society dinner last night with my daughter, and a couple of people came up to me and they said, love the show, but we really love Phil's segment. So, mate, have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you again next year. Hopefully we get to see if you're back in Adelaide over the summer too, mate.
Yeah, I'll be back for a week. I'll drop in. I'll drink
Excellent,
a beer.
mate.
Okay. Well, you do it, and all your listeners. See you later.
Good on you, Phil. Phil Curry, the political editor of the Australian Financial Review. Let's flash back. Michael Smith from 7 News is on the line, jumping into the time machine. Morning to you, Michael.
Good morning, Will and Dave. We have a solar-powered edition of Flashback for you this week because it's 40 years ago this month that a couple of Aussie adventurers set out to drive themselves into the record books. The great motorsport legend Larry Perkins teamed up with adventurer Hans Tholstrup to drive from Perth to Sydney in a car powered by nothing but the sun. They've been inspired, actually, by an aerial solar crossing of the English Channel. Larry Perkins, apart from being a six-time Bathurst winner, is actually a really good engineer. So he designed the car, which was called the Quiet Achiever. You might remember it was sponsored by BP. That was their advertising slogan at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
So Larry built the car with his brother Gary. Fairly rudimentary design, sort of a bucket seat, 4 bike wheels, couple of batteries, wraparound Perspex frame. And on top, looks like a solar panel you might have taken off the roof of your house. It was a flat panel on the Quiet Achiever. They set themselves the target of going from Scarborough Beach in Perth all the way to the Sydney Opera House in 28 days. They managed to do it in 19, averaging about 25 k's an hour, which was a little bit slower than Larry was used to staying around in his touring car. But a remarkable achievement, particularly when you consider there was no air conditioning, no suspension. They faced challenges like dust storms, heat across the Nullarbor Plain, and extraordinary wind as well. Stopped at a number of South Australian towns on their way through, including Ceduna, Port Augusta and Peterborough. And Larry told me that somehow this project just really captured people's imagination.
It was fantastic. Everywhere we went, we had crowds of people in small country towns, big cities. Because today it's pretty well known, it's an electric car, but this was solar power electric car, and it's now 40 years ago. So it was breaking new ground.
And the success of this crossing from Perth to Sydney through South Australia, of course, then inspired Hans Tholstrup to set up the World Solar Challenge from Darwin to Adelaide, which is still going every 2 years now. The technology involved in those cars, a bit more sophisticated than Larry and Hans had back in 1982. The cars go a lot faster, and we've really come a long way, but a remarkable achievement to celebrate 40 years on.
That's become something that's quite a big thing for a lot of the schools around town too, hasn't it, Michael? A lot of schools get involved in building cars and competing in the Solar Challenge.
Yeah, a terrific thing for school projects, and of course attracts a lot of internationals here as well. The Dutch always seem to be the first ones into the fountain in Victoria Square when they cross the line. They've got the technology down pat, a lot of Japanese interest as well. And I think the next World Solar Challenge will be next year. It's a terrific event. And as Larry Perkins pointed out, those cars go so fast now, you almost got to slow them down so they're not breaking the speed limit. Solar technology's come such a long way.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to this flashback. Thank you, Michael. Michael Smith from 7 News. You'll catch flashback on Sunday night. It's remarkable how the combustion engine has endured, isn't it? When you think that 40 years ago we were already trying to work on this problem of alternate means by which to power vehicles.
Yeah.
We're still not there yet.
No.
40 years? Think of all the other things that have happened in that span of time.
Yeah.
And there have been versions of us trying to power cars in different ways, and they haven't entirely broken through. Certainly not in the absence of subsidy and whatnot.
Well, I mean, electric vehicles are the big thing. But, there was that story about a month ago about the cost of replacing the battery.
Yes.
Which is roughly the same cost as buying a pretty good second-hand car. So
we're still not there.
It'll change.
It will.
It'll change soon. But
think of every other way the world's changed since 1982.
Yeah. Oh well, like the internet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, let's do some texts. Lucy's got a list of them there for us on the text line. Most of the Meat Tray Friday entries, I'm guessing. We're asking you about your highlight of 2022.
There was one here that I absolutely loved earlier, Will, about baby Rosie. Here we go. This is it. Jan writes, the highlight of this year was Will and his wife finally becoming a family. The joy never changes as a listener as we go through the journey with them. I remember going through the same, and I would also include David in that when he became the proud owner of a Walco blanket for his rainwise pool. And look, that was an emotional day too. I mean, the birth of Rosie was one thing, but I tell you, when that Walco blankie arrived, I felt like my life was finally
Still brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it?
It does. Every night when I give it a little wind, put it to bed. Now here's one from Mark. This year's highlight will be seeing Will host this year's Sea-Link Carols by Candlelight this Sunday night, supporting the work of St John Ambulance in SA. You must be excited about that, because I know you've always been a big carols guy.
Well, you've always said that, haven't you? You've said, carols goodings here.
You'd be amazed, folks, if you knew how often during an ad break we'll just start spontaneously going,
I know them all.
They told him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Just your natural thought when you think carols guy, aren't you?
You've done a bit of a sit-down with the paper about this, haven't you? Like, you've been asked, I understand I've asked you questions like, what is your favourite Christmas carol? Can I ask you that question now on live radio?
No, I have found an answer to that. Carol of the Bells is my favourite. I like
Carol of the Bells?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
It's Ukrainian, actually, which is poignant at the moment.
It
It's probably not...
Cop that, Putin.
It's probably not the natural environment for me to expand on my thoughts on how the Kherson offensive is going. Or is it? I ask you.
I reckon if there's one thing the Christmas carols coverage needs, it's a little bit more geopolitical edge.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of
Maybe
kids
that's why I've been asked to do it.
It's more educational. Like, I think you should start going for impromptu dissertations about the Baltic states as well. Why Lithuania has been so strong in advocating an armed response.
I do have a theory on why regime change in Russia might not be the panacea to conflict in Eastern Europe that people suspect. And I reckon just before the little drummer boy gets introduced, I might just have a moment just to expand on it.
So more importantly, are you going to be wearing like a Santa hat on the night?
No.
Because I've never watched the carols, but I tell you, mate, I might even tape it this year.
I'm in a tux, David.
Oh, here we go.
I'm in a tuxedo. You know how
Are you
much
tuxing it
You
up?
know how much I love dressing up.
Oh,
yes.
Well, you will go and work in television.
All right, shall we check traffic? Let's do that and come back with more in a moment.
At Home Valley, emergency waterworks, Green Junction Road near Valley Road. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval. That's for the cricket. Got works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue, speeds at 40, and we're starting to get busy South Road at Mile End. Cameras today, Gage Street, Firle, George Street, Norwood, and Hub Drive at Aberfoyle Park. Load up for lunch with the Red Rooster Subwing box, mini sub, chips and wing, all for just $4.95. The Rooster's calling, get it where you can, while you can. Available in store till 4 p.m. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food lives here. Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah. Foodland, the mighty South.
You're watching the FIVEAA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
Mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Assistant State Secretary of the CFMEU.
When I started off as a bricklayer, walking on scaffold and trying to balance a wheelbarrow full of concrete, I thought that was the norm. It wasn't until I started getting into the commercial sector where there was all these rules. The more I was educated about these processes, the more it kind of made sense to me. Safety is paramount. The more representation HSRs on site, the better it is.
We stand stronger together. The CFMEU, a union of opportunity.
Wallace Cinemas is a family-owned South Australian business that prides itself on supporting its community.
Get back into your local Wallace Cinema and see movies like they should be seen on the big screen with magnificent Quake sound you can feel.
Now, Christmas Cinema Savers are back too. You can pick up 5 adult movie tickets for only $60. That's your Christmas shopping done.
Also, the Piccadilly is back. This iconic cinema needs to be seen to be believed. It's going to be spectacular. It'll be December 15th, so it'll be 6 days out. The Stage 1 renovations of this historic building are an homage to its Art Deco roots, and as I say, it's a must-see.
It's a beautiful building, and it's even better now that it's been all done up. Support local, share a fabulous cinema experience with your friends and family. Wallace Cinema Cinema Savers on sale until December 24. You can buy them in cinema at Mitcham, Mount Barker, Nollunga, Gawler and Piccadilly, or get them online at wallace.com.au.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar. More and more South Australians are taking control of their energy bills with solar and battery storage. In fact, Australians are taking up battery storage in record numbers because they're sick of rising power bills and being locked into a system where someone else calls the shots. The other huge bonus of going with NRG Solar and battery storage is that you'll be protected by blackouts with an uninterrupted power supply. Take control. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 minutes to 8, John Blake in just a moment. We're down here at the Adelaide Central Market. It's about another hour. Nice to see so many listeners coming down and saying hi as well. It sort of feels like a nice way to round out the year, albeit a couple of them during our chat with Michael Smith.
Yes, that was hilarious. While we were actually on, doing what we like to call live radio here, talking to 150-odd thousand South Australians, chatting to Michael Smith and Yuri, who our listeners will know as in Canadies Yuri. He was standing 2 inches away from us going, "Hey guys, how are you? Merry Christmas." Legend. We love
legend. Made a little bit hard to make out some of what Michael Smith had to say. That said,
at least he didn't say calm the D's.
Thankfully, yeah, because he adds another word sometimes. There he is. Michael Smith will be on 5AA Breakfast next week, so you can hear plenty of him hosting the show with Lucy, which is going to be absolutely sensational.
The irrepressible Lucy Loken back on air. Don't stand between Lucy and a live mic. She's got a real taste for it now. But
she's the universal connector in radio, Luce. She can work with anyone, anywhere, at any time.
I wonder if the dynamic will be the same between Luce and Michael as it was between Luce and I and Luce and you. Tune in, find out. It'll be terrific. He's got a mellifluous voice, hasn't he?
A beautiful voice.
Yeah.
He's a good broadcaster, and so is Lucy. Lucy's also got this look about her sometimes when she's pleasant but frustrated, and she's
like
right now where she's trying to tell us to move on.
Like, shut up, you idiots.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get to the callers.
Alex in Andrews Farm, good morning. What was your highlight of 2022?
Morning, guys. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. And
you too, Alex.
My highlight, thank you. I wake up to you guys, I get dressed to you guys, I drive into work. But when I get to work, they don't let me listen to you. But one morning I came in and I said, right, got to put 5AA on because I'm on a competition. Funny nicknames. I don't know if you remember Meat Tray competition.
Yeah.
Surname, my husband's surname is Karajanakis and it's Karayanakis. And I won the meat tray. And everyone at work couldn't believe it, yes. So that's my highlight.
Have you converted them to the cause?
Yeah, well, I get that. Well, I'm going to run in now to work and put the radio back onto 5AA because I'm going to tell them I might win a seafood meat tray this time.
Good on you, Alex.
Oh, that's the sort of listener we want.
Yeah, we like how evangelical listeners sort of path to converting the workplace.
Claiming every workplace in South Australia one at a time.
Cheryl and Gawler, what was your highlight of 2022?
Good morning, boys, and very Merry Christmas to you and your families. The highlight of 2022 came for me last night when I heard on the news that FIVEAA could be pregnant.
Well, what about that? And that was yesterday morning on account of one of our listeners, Karen, during the What's the Tea segment.
Yes, and won the kettle.
Yeah, how about that? How about that?
Thank you, Cheryl. Karen's texted in on this as well.
Karen has texted in saying, I saw on the news last night that FIVEAA might be pregnant. Then she says, you'd be over the moon with that news, wouldn't you, Will? How old does Rosie need to be before you take her to the zoo to see the pandas?
I've given Rosie the lifters and leaners speech already, as championed initially by Joe Hockey, but repurposed for me as a rant against the Pandas. Let's just wait and see, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's just wait and see.
I'm interested though. Did the local news media all follow up that story purely off the what's the tea segment?
I think what's the tea? It's
it's been right
listen
before.
to radio.
We got the Women's and Children's Hospital site right on account of one of our listeners.
You get the news in this town is broken during our SMEG giveaway once a week.
We got the gather round from a listener.
Exactly right.
He told me about it. He said give this one a whirl. I reckon it's right.
When news
That's
happens,
what we call fact checking.
We're giving away kettles. It's time for John Blake, thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
Yes, good morning. Well, this week our clever Prime Minister Anthony Albanese told us not to expect nuclear power anytime soon, even though our Premier said it might be a good idea. Albo won't budge. It's like he's got his head stuck in the sands of the Pirates of Penzance.
I am the very model of a Labor politician. I never like to talk about that awful nuclear fission. When I am asked about it, I just say it's not what we expect and do yourself a favour, go and ask that Tanya Plibersek. I'm very well acquainted with all of the Labor policies, and one of them is not to build atomical facilities when someone says it's what we need to make Australia livable. I say, in our opinion, that it's totally inconceivable.
He says in their opinion that it's totally inconceivable. He says in their opinion that it's totally inconceivable. He says in their opinion that it's totally inconceivable.
Even though the other countries say that it's imperative, it doesn't fit the stupid ancient Labor Party narrative. In fact, in my opinion, we just really shouldn't talk about that nuclear is the answer, and of that there isn't any doubt. So that's the way the Labor Party thinks, and that's the end of it. We're never very interested in common sense, get over it. Reducing our emissions has lots of those conditions. I am the very model of a Labor politician.
He is the very model, yes he is the very model, yes he is the very model of a Labor politician.
Yes, I do like Albo in a Gilbert and Sullivan opera. Suits him. Also this week, the AFL is doing everything it can to make sure the Magic Round isn't quite as exciting as it was when we first heard about it. The first thing they did wrong was naming it.
Here's a story, it's sad but true. The AFL had one job to do, to find a name for the Magic Round. They went and called it the Gather Round. And that's crap, crap, really, really, really crap, crap, really, really, really crap, crap, really, really, really crap.
Yeah, we knew they'd ruin it from the very start. The people over there are not that smart. When they named it, we thought, what the hell? Shouldn't have left it to the AFL. I can't believe it made it on the list. They must have thought of it when they were all pissed. This one came right out of the blue. Now we have to call it Gather Round. Ooh, well that's crap, crap. That's crap, crap. That's crap, crap. That's crap. Crap, crap. That's crap, crap. That's crap, crap. That's crap.
More from John Blake after 8:30 when we go behind closed doors. Back from the market soon.
SA's own and favourite milk company, FIVEAA Milk Company, is giving you the chance to win a $4,000 Phil Hoffman travel voucher. Take home our limited edition Christmas products and get creative. Take a pic of them under your Christmas tree as a Chrissy decoration. Anything you can think of. Then share your pics on Facebook or Instagram and tag FIVEAA Milk Company and Phil Hoffman Travel. You could win a $4,000 travel voucher. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
It's Foodland's 60th birthday, and we're celebrating by giving away experience vouchers on our app. Simply buy any selected Dettol, CC's or Inner Biscuit product to win.
Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Christmas feasts are covered with Rainbow Fresh. Look for their famous baby spinach rocket mixed salads in your local supermarket or greengrocer.
These bags of salad, vegetables and spinach and so on, the absolute byword for quality, the Rainbow Fresh people, the work they do, because their farm keeps everything so fresh. They do it by ensuring a 24-hour turnaround time from the farm in Lewiston to your local SA supermarket and greengrocer store shelves.
The family started primary producing 50 years ago, and now daughters Maria and Juliet are at the helm of the local Rainbow Fresh farm. That said, Joe still thinks he's in charge, so don't mention it to him.
No, that's right, he certainly does. So for Christmas lunch or dinner, or any meal, any fresh summer salad that you're making, make sure you support a great local South Australian business in Rainbow Fresh. Look out for their baby spinach, rocket and mixed salads.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing and 26 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Give the gift of health this Christmas with a Physio Extra Pilates or massage gift voucher. PhysioExtra.com.
A drink driver has been caught nearly 6 times over the limit after driving his van through roadworks at Hope Valley. It happened on Grand Junction Road last night. Senior Constable Dave Muir says the 40-year-old man recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.288.
So he was reported for drink driving and driving while suspended. He also received an additional 12 months loss of licence and had his vehicle impounded for 28 days, and he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
South Australian exports have surged to a record high $16 billion. That's up 22.7% in the 12 months to October. Trade Minister Nick Champion says it's due to increasing global demand for our grain, wine and metal products.
Markets in the United States, Malaysia, France, Taiwan, South Korea are all up, and we've also got new markets in Sudan and other places. So a really great result for the state's export industries.
1.7 million Australians are concerned their children will miss out on food over Christmas. Max White has more.
Research from the Salvation Army suggests the cost of living crisis will force many families into financial hardship over the festive season. The charity says it's experiencing a tsunami of need. A challenging year of record high inflation, interest rate rises and natural disasters means 3 in 10 Australians will struggle to pay for utilities this Christmas. Major Bruce Harmer is concerned some will have to make agonising choices.
Many families are having to choose between providing food for their family or a roof over their head.
The charity is aiming to raise $23 million in its Christmas appeal to support those in need.
Buckingham Palace hasn't commented on Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary at this stage. UK correspondent Carrie-Anne Greenbank has more.
Here in the UK, the public response to Harry and Meghan's new series has been mixed. Some calling it a love story, others calling it boring. One royal commentator describing it as a masterclass in self-promotion. Piers Morgan calling it worse than Keeping Up with the Kardashians. King Charles avoided questioning today while carrying on with royal commitments. He was asked what he thought of the series and whether he'd spoken to Prince Harry, but didn't respond as he attended a church and a community centre.
The first coins with King Charles' portrait have entered circulation in the UK. The 50p coin also features the 4 quarters of the royal arms, a rose, thistle, shamrock and a leek. Fans have gathered at the John Lennon Memorial in Central Park to commemorate the 42nd anniversary of the singer's death. The area is known as Strawberry Fields and is across from the Dakota where the singer was shot in 1980.
All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
What's happening in the footy, Jace Kemp?
Oh, there's plenty going on, Mel, and that's where we'll begin. Fixtures for the AFL's first ever gather round have been locked in. Eddie Summerfield reports.
All 9 games of round 5 will be in South Australia, with extra flights being put on for the footy festival during the Easter school holidays. It starts with Adelaide playing Carlton on Thursday night at Adelaide Oval. Double headers to be played at the Oval on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday has Brisbane and North Melbourne drawing the short straw, being sent to Mount Barker. The AFL says no team will be officially the home team during the round. It's despite the Blues playing the Crows and Western Bulldogs playing Port at the South Australian club's home grounds.
To cricket, and Travis Head has put on a show at Adelaide Oval, scoring his first Test 100 in front of his home crowd. Marnus Labuschagne also notched a century and says batting has been tough due to the pink ball.
They dye it pink, but because the pink dye doesn't
doesn't take to the cowhide, they paint it as well, like a white cricket ball. So that reacts differently off the surface.
The Aussies will resume today at 3 for 330. To basketball, and the Adelaide 36ers will be in action tonight against the Perth Wildcats. It will be a special night for Daniel Johnson, who will play his 400th NBL game. DJ telling the 5AA Sports Show he's thrilled to have spent 13 seasons with Adelaide.
Oh, I think it is more special doing it all with the one club and being a part of that. I think when we eventually win a championship, which I'm hoping is next year or this year, it'll be that much more special just from being here for that long.
Finally, the Australian Open entry list has been released with Nick Kyrgios and Isla Tomljanovic, the leading Aussies in their respective singles lineups. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Hope Valley, look out for emergency waterworks today, Green Junction Road near Valley Road. At North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will get closed a little later on in the morning, just in front of the Adelaide Oval. That is for the cricket. Got work slowing things up today at McGill, St Bernard's Road near McGill Road, speeds of 25. Slow going for work, South Road at Mile End with cameras today, Fisher Street, Myrtle Bank and Darley Road at Paradise. Boxing Day's come early at Harris Scarf with up to 60% off all homewares in Manchester, up to 40% off all electrical and up to 50% off all fashion. Exclusions apply, sale starts tomorrow. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now checking 5AA weather.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Cloud clearing today, heading for a top of 26, 35 tomorrow, but a late cool change. Sunday a shower or two, 21. Monday a possible shower, 19. Right now it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Top of the list? First pick, numero uno. If you've been dreaming of choosing a new Mazda, Mawson Lakes Mazda want to give you preferential treatment. New stock has arrived, and right now you can take first pick of the Mazda range and lock in an amazing deal. Get behind the wheel of your dream Mazda sooner. See the new stock available for delivery now. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Last hour down here at the Central Markets. Last hour for David and I for 2022. We've loved talking to you. We loved nutting out big stories of the year and being able to share ideas and chat with the good people of Adelaide. We've loved giving away meat trays as well on Friday mornings. This morning it is a seafood tray, a special one with a Christmas theme. 4 kilos of local prawns, all thanks to Angelakis Brothers, where we're asking you, it being our last show of 2022, about your highlight of 2022. And there is some wonderful, lovely messages coming through on the text line. One says, my awesome highlight of 2022, I've got 4 beautiful granddaughters, and 6 weeks ago I was blessed with my first grandson, 1 lucky nana. Another place in my heart has been filled. Thank you to that person. Remember this one, Mike says, I can't ring in, but my highlight is my partner being given the all clear from bowel cancer. Diagnosed in early 2021, she's the most resilient person I know. Even started a new job after 30 years in her previous one. Have a great Christmas and a well-deserved break. Enjoy your first one with Rosie Will. It is a wonderful time. Look forward to listening next year. Well, we look forward to more of your contributions, Mike, and we're glad to hear you've got that wonderful highlight that's come in 2021. One of our highlights whenever we broadcast from down here at the Central Markets is when David just disappears randomly, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean it's because he's off having a market adventure. And right now, I think he's over near the Providore.
I am, Will. I'm just outside Lucia's, where the breakfast buzz is in full swing here. There are people at pretty much every single table here at Lucia's, where Maria and the rest of the gang have been doing a great job for, getting on for 3 generations now. One of I reckon probably the best place in Adelaide to have a coffee. Their coffee is absolutely superb, but there are people here having their toasted sandwiches and a few people having bowls of minestrone for a hearty start to the day. Just going to go for a bit of a wander through now, heading past the what used to be Athens, the famous continental shop. It's now Lucia's. They've extended. They've got the amazing salami and prosciutto and jamon and small goods area. And then
hey, David, we should mention meals too that people can see you on your adventure on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. It looks actually it's got a bit of a Blade Runner feel to it. I don't know. The way
Ridley
it's shot
Scott.
and you're moving around, it's got a bit of Ridley Scott to it. It looks spectacular when you're in motion, I can tell you.
Oh, look, well, you know, it's almost like sort of SA Gourmet Food Cam as well, heading now past Charlesworth Nuts. Actually, mate, you know what we should do today, because it's become, you and I tipped you into this a couple of years ago.
Oh, say the magic words.
The market mix.
Oh.
Their market mix, which is, from memory, cashews, walnuts, and green pumpkin seeds, with that beautiful sort of spice mix on them. Now here we are. I'm on the corner here at McMahon's Fruit and Veg. This is the very spot, mate, where I spent a good 5 years of my life with Steph on $1 a bag corner every Saturday from about 11 a.m. onwards. Would be out here with our leather aprons, and it was obviously the last day of the market week on Saturdays. So from about 10 a.m. onwards on this corner, we'd bag up all of the surplus fruit and veg that was going to be destined for the bins, because it wasn't going to last until the following Tuesday. And this is where my catch cry was pioneered. $1 a bag on the corner here at McMahon's.
Can you give us a
3 for 2?
Take us back there. Go on, give us one for old time's sake.
Well, I can't really do it in full voice, because if I do, people will run from every corner of the market. And the thing is, inflation being what it is, as Philip Lowe's been telling us all year, the 1987 prices don't really stand up in 2022. But the catch cry used to be, shall I do it?
Yeah, I reckon.
I'll do
Let's
it.
see what
It
happens.
used to be, okay, folks, who's got $1? $1 a bag of 3 for 2 in the corner now, McMahon's. And people would literally run from everywhere. The owners of the store are looking at me now like, who's this half-wit, and why is he trying to send us bankrupt? But I'm going to go down to Angelakis, because I want to see if I can chat to somebody from Angelakis. They have very generously provided today's seafood tray, which is 4 kilograms of prawns. Angelakis obviously is a huge South Australian food brand. Michael Angelakis, along with their own Michael Keelan, they did that terrific TV show for many years, Out of the Blue. And it's just like, how lucky are we to live here? So just looking in the cabinet, you've got what are they called? Those beautiful live pot-ready mussels from Port Lincoln. Blue swimmer crabs, looking absolutely stunning, $41 a kilo. Octopus tentacles. They've even got sea urchins. Have you ever had a crack at a sea urchin, mate?
How would you prepare a sea urchin, dare I ask?
Well, all you do is you just cut the top off it and spoon out the meat with a teaspoon. But it's a pretty intense flavour. It's huge with the Greek community. They're big fans of the sea urchins. One of the upsides, one of the few upsides of the lobster brawl we've been having with China, is that lobster prices now, compared to what they were 3 years ago, they've come down so much that a lobster is no longer an unaffordable luxury. Hey mate, just out of interest, how much does a lobster set you back a kilo at the moment?
Sorry, I just have to get you to ask.
$90 a kilo. How are you going? I'm Dave from FIVEAA. I just wanted to say thank you so much, because you guys have helped us out today for the show with the 4 kilos of prawns. Can I ask you, what are the big sort of go-to items for Christmas that people are looking for this year?
Crayfish. Definitely crayfish. Then it's prawns. And then it's oysters. So they're the 3. We get it from the border of Victoria, and we also get it from New Zealand. So it's, we still get it, but it's not the South Australian one.
But for people who do want to chuck a snapper on the barbie this year, they'll still be able to get them.
Yes. I'm not sure how much stock we're going to get, but yeah.
But mainly, though, I mean, there's so much other stuff that people are able to get.
If we can't get snapper, there'll be other options for them to get.
Can I ask you two, looking at your opening hours for Christmas week, it's such a crazy time here in the market. Those few days in the lead up to Christmas, when you work here, how exhausting is it? Because it must be so full on.
So what I do, I come later in the day, so I prepare everything for the morning. And the kids come during the day and they serve. So we've got it under control. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't come all at once. And so we do the preparation when there's no customers around. And so when the customers come in, we're just ready to serve. But it is exhausting.
I know, it's a crazy time. Well, look, good luck with all of it, and have a Merry Christmas, and thanks again for helping us out today with the seafood tray. Leaving Angelakis now. All right, we're going to head down the other side. Now, I'm interested to see this because, so we're on the eastern side of the market. Well, this is where the huge apartment complex and new sort of underground food area is going to go. I've actually been on this side for a couple of weeks, and since then they've put up these big sort of temporary sort of stainless steel looking walls that cover up the entire area. Now I'm just going down past one of your favourites, Will, with your Polish heritage, Standard Meats. What about that?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's just,
Now
you look at
you're
the
talking.
cabinet and look at all those pork products, all of those snags and all those beautiful smoked meats, the ham hocks and everything else, all of those great salamis, and I reckon they've got about 10 different types of sausage here, chimney sausage, all of the different Polish sausages. Shall I say a quick g'day? Hey guys, Dave from FIVEAA, how you going? I'm here at Standham's.
Doing good. How are you? Yeah, not bad. We just opened up recently, so we're just getting everything sorted out. Christmas orders have come in, so we've got a lot of food to sort out.
So ham's obviously the big go-to at Christmas time. How many hams do you reckon you're going to go through at Standham's over the next couple of weeks?
How many do you reckon we usually go through at Christmas?
Christmas time, geez, this time's a little bit slower than most years, but I'd say we're easily going to go through over 100 kilos, I'd say. Yeah, ridiculous amount.
I've got to say, one of my great pleasures in life, my son went to Grange Primary School, and we'd often go down to Standham's there when you used to be on Tapley's Hill Road. Yeah. But you've got one in St Clair now in the shopping centre there, haven't you?
Yes, we do. We've still got a few stores. St Clair, Jeps Cross, obviously here in Central Market, as well as I believe there's some others in the northern suburbs. Yes.
Well, guys, you have a good Christmas, and good luck getting through all of those hams. I'll come back later, and I'll buy a little assortment of Polish sausages for my co-host, who's from Polska. So good on you guys. Have a good Christmas. I'm going to wander back now, Will. I'm walking past. This is like the good food strip round here. You've got Le Souk, run by the wonderful Algerian chap. I love the fact that whenever you come in here for a feed, he's famous for the chachuka. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Chachuka.
Magas chachuka. We've got 4 of them. You've got the beef chachuka, magas chachuka, vegan chachuka, and vegetarian. Now, are you in a good mood?
I'm always in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood when I come to Le Souk. And I love the fact that when
Can you handle brown day?
a brown date, I love the dates, and I love the fact it's like a little welcome whenever you come to Le Souk for a meal.
True. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
I'm going to eat a date. We call this date cam. I know it sounds a bit unpleasant, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Let me cheer you up with the day.
Beautiful. I have a hot date. Here we go. I'm going to eat it. Fantastic. So lovely. Even my camo's getting a date as well. Now, I said you were Algerian. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm the specimen, yes. With 2 legs.
You must be big on Morocco for the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. We got prepared actually to go to watch the quarter-final against Portugal.
Can you beat Portugal?
Yeah, I think so. It's possible. And the second match, imagine, it's France against England.
I know. Well, the Socceroos struggled against them. I'm going to say, anyone who needs spices, this is one of the best places in Adelaide to come, and if you like spicy food, the harissa is just sensational.
Now, can you read? You've been to school?
Yes, I've been to school.
Can you read what it says at the bottom?
I can't read that, I haven't got my reading glasses. You read it for me.
Can you read for him what you can't see?
In the top 10% of restaurants worldwide.
In the top 10% of restaurants worldwide. What about that? Right here in Adelaide.
And we achieved it twice in a row.
Well done, mate.
The last ex-Prime Minister came here to be dated. What's his name? Malcolm Turnbull.
Malcolm Turnbull came here.
The first time he came, I gave him a date. He was so excited. 3 months later, he came back again. You know what we gave him the second time?
What, another date?
Close. No. We gave him a mandate.
A mandate? That is excellent. So what's your name again, mate?
Azu.
Azu, of course. Azu.
The story, if you want to recycle yourself in politics, come and see me. I got a recipe for you.
Azu, you're a legend. The paella's magnificent. The dates are superb. The market rules. Go Morocco as well.
Tagine, a lamb tagine with the prawns and almond for 7 hours cooked.
Hear that? A 7-hour cooked lamb tagine with prawns. I should probably come back and conclude the rest of the show, Will, although the eating tour could continue quite happily for another 40 minutes.
I think more.
Great meeting all the stallholders.
Have you, in your long and illustrious journalistic career, have you ever been shot a dirtier look than the one you got from the bloke trying to make a sale at Angelakis when you tried to doorstop him Frank Pangallo style?
He was pretty unimpressed, wasn't he? I think he thought he was about to be on Today Tonight for, Today we reveal the seamier side of the lobster trade.
Everyone who's ever wondered what a solo David Penberthy radio show would be like just got an insight too. I'd like to think it's just you walking around eating stuff for 3 hours.
That's right.
Hey,
I've got half a date left in my hand. I'll see you back there in a couple of minutes, mate.
All right, we're going to check traffic, and when we return, we'll have the General Manager of the Adelaide Central Market with us right here in the southwest corner. Back with more shortly.
At Hope Valley, emergency waterworks, Grange Junction Road near Valley Road. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval. That's for the cricket. Got a few works to keep in mind today, including some at Bedford Park, Southern Expressway and a Sturt Road. So as you're heading into the city, speeds are now to 40 k's. Busy at the moment, Fitzroy Terrace at Prospect Road with cameras at Green Hill Road, Burnside and George Streets at Norwood. Save 25% off your second item at Amart. Buy one item and get another for 25% off across a huge range of furniture. T's and C's apply. Hurry. Offer ends Sunday at Amart. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G
on the 5AA Sports Show.
Who concocted Sandpaper Gate? Who purchased the 80 grit paper? Who handed it to Bancroft, who we've never seen again? And who got found guilty? If you committed a white-collar crime and got smashed around the knuckles with it, I couldn't see a bank giving you a job back.
Rowie and Timmy G.
Cricket Australia wanted it to go away. They've made it go away because David Warner said, well, I'm not going to go for it. Done. And nor should he. He's 36.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. At Lynn Andrews Real Estate, we've seen a lot of change in the property market over the last 50 years, but one thing remains constant: our passion to help people invest in the future, to build strong property portfolios in commercial and residential real estate. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. We are here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
There's Millionaires Mix, Triple Choc Heaven and Macadamia Magnifique. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm Brett Charlesworth, and they're just 3 of over 100 mouth-watering delights we make for you at Charlesworth Nuts. This year, more than ever, you need to spoil yourself and your guests with the very best and the absolute freshest. And when it comes to nuts, that means Charlesworth. I guarantee you will taste the amazing difference that 80 years of experience brings. 11 family-owned stores or shop online. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
For kids, the best part about Christmas is waking up early and seeing what's under the tree. For grown-ups, I think it happens a bit earlier.
Yep.
Christmas is covered with your pals at Parafield Airport Liquor Store.
They say Christmas is all about, children and putting smiles on their faces, and while that's largely true, let's not forget the adults either. And if you want to put a smile on your dial, have a chat to Sam, Jamie and the Pals team. These guys, they just run the tightest operation. They taste everything before it comes in, and it makes choosing easy because you can be confident with your purchase that there's no duds. But what about the range?
Unbelievable.
They've got a lot of stuff that's classic, go-to, and then other things that you've never heard of before across the whole range. Beers, spirits, wines.
And if you're a business that wants to look after their staff and you need a gift idea, go in and get something unique, get something different, and get something high quality, because that's all the things that Sam and Jamie do specialise in. Visit Parafield Airport Liquor Store. It's next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road at Parafield. But you don't even have to go out there. This is how simple it is. You go to powsliquor.com.au. That said, it's worth going out there just to see the joint because it's unbelievable. There's no excuse not to visit your pals.
Mini Jumbuck, now in McLaren Vale, make Australia's favourite wool bedding product, proudly made right here in South Australia. Mini Jumbuck uses the finest Australian wool to handcraft their quilts, mattress toppers, pillows and more. If you're looking to improve your quality of sleep, start with a visit to Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale today. You'll find great Christmas gift ideas too for both adults and children. Slippers, soft toys, clothing and much more. Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale, open 7 days. Australian made, Australian owned.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
26 after 8, we've managed to find David and get him back. It's a two-part challenge.
I was doing that for about 20 minutes, wasn't I?
No, you were. I thought I was about to go home. I thought, all right, well, I guess we're done here. You get lost at the markets, and that's what we love about it. We're joined by the GM of the Adelaide Central Market, Jade Kinane. Jody, good morning to you.
Good morning, David and Will.
You got the best office in South Australia, haven't you?
I do, definitely. If you ever need inspiration, all you have to do is walk around the market floor and have a chat to the traders and customers, and it really sort of, brings the day together.
What's the feeling about the Christmas season this year at the Central Market?
Yeah, really positive. It's really nice that, families are starting this year to return to sort of larger format gatherings, and there's a lot of festivities, so we're all ready. The traders are all ready to go, and we've got an abundance of fresh produce.
It is a real adventure, and like just doing that little walk then, I come here all the time, but you always find something new. I don't know how it is that you can come to a place so often, but then you can, like I just saw these standing beef ribs, these aged beef ribs in the refrigerator window at Marino's. I thought, my God, I haven't seen them before. I've got to get my hands on one of them one of these days.
Yeah.
It's just a brilliant place.
They're amazing, and you're right, and even being here every day, I still get that sense of discovery as well.
Yeah.
You walk down a different aisle, or there's a slightly different display out, and because it is all fresh produce, things are changing every day.
Yeah.
So we have our staples, but the traders are able to source all this amazing local produce, and it's a sense of discovery, definitely.
I mentioned too on that walk, like seeing on the eastern side where they've now got the sort of permanent looking, well, not permanent because it's not going to stay there after the building's done, but obviously everything is underway now on the Victoria Square side with the construction of the big market complex apartment and food area. How's all that progressing, and what's the sort of timeline for it, do you think?
Yeah, so the market, I'll just say, is open the whole entire time. We're open now. We stay open the whole time throughout, even when construction starts, which is next door. So the time frames we're looking at is 2025.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting seeing it because the way it's set up at the moment, like there's no actual disruption at all. Like the market still feels exactly the same way it did, obviously without the arcade on the other side.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of the smaller format shops that were in the arcade have been relocated either into our existing market or into the plaza next door or the surrounding precinct. So a lot of those traders are still in the precinct, which is fantastic.
Have you been up on the ladder in the last couple of weeks, Jody? Because I tell you what, you guys have outdone yourself with the Christmas decorations down here this year.
It does look really festive.
It looks lovely.
And this year we've also got a handcrafted Christmas village in the southeast corner. So if kids want to come along and get some photos with some Christmas trees and cutouts and have some traditional gingerbreads and lemonade, there's something here this year for all the family.
Well, Jody, we love our association with the market. We thank you for having us here again today. And we wish you a very Merry Christmas and good luck getting through the next couple of weeks because it's a crazy time working in here. Have a good one.
Great, thank you.
Good on you, Jody. It's 29 minutes after 8. 5AA News is coming up. On the other side of it, we're going to be looking back on the top 10 moments of 2022.
This Christmas, tens of thousands of Aussie families will be facing impossible choices. Feed their children, buy medication, or pay rent to keep a roof over their heads. Donate today to provide emergency cost of living relief so Aussie families aren't forced over the edge and into homelessness. Your generosity can provide urgent relief for a family who's doing it tough this Christmas and give hope for a better future. Support struggling families this Christmas by searching for Vinnie's Christmas Appeal and donate today.
Imagine the thought of innovation at your fingertips, accelerating with efficiency and power. Imagine a bold, striking design with the comfort and confidence of advanced safety tech. Imagine where you could go in a Hyundai SUV. An SUV range with enough style, tech and performance to turn your imagination into reality. So if you're thinking SUV, think Hyundai SUV. Discover yours at hyundai.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing 26 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Business as usual at Physio Extra across the Christmas period, keeping you healthy all year round. PhysioExtra.com.
A drink driver has been caught nearly 6 times over the limit after making an unexpected detour. Senior Constable Dave Muir says they caught up with him at Hope Valley.
9:30 last night, we were called to Grand Junction Road after a Mitsubishi van drove through roadworks at speed. Now, the road workers were able to stop the driver and call police.
The 40-year-old man recorded a blood alcohol reading of .288. He was also suspended from holding a licence. He's been reported, had the van impounded and will front court at a later date. A car fire at Christie's Beach is being treated as arson. The owner reported their Mazda hatchback on fire in their front yard on Cocking Road just before 5 this morning. Investigations are continuing. South Australian exports are continuing to boom, up nearly 23% in the past 12 months. Global demand for our grain, wine and metal products has pushed revenue to a record high $16 billion. Trade Minister Nick Champion says there's been strong growth in our biggest markets, but we're also opening up new ones.
Wheat exports are up 58%, also fueled by that new market in Sudan. Canola's up 210%. Our wine exports are up 5.4%, and demand for copper and metal concentrates is also up. So what we're really seeing is our state's agricultural and mining export industries really boom.
The first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan's Netflix series has been released. The Duke opening up about the death of his mother and why he blames the media. He's compared Meghan's troubles fitting into the royal family to those of Diana.
So much of what Meghan is and how she is so similar to my mum. She has the same compassion, she has the same empathy, she has the same confidence. She has this warmth about her.
US basketballer Brittany Griner has been freed from a Russian jail after a prisoner swap was approved. Notorious arms dealer Victor Bout will be released back to Moscow after spending the last 12 years behind bars in the United States. Joe Biden formally announced Ms. Griner's release during a press conference at the White House.
Reuniting this Americans with their loved ones remains a priority for my administration, every person in my administration involved in this. We're going to continue to work to bring home every American who continues to endure such an injustice.
The 32-year-old was detained at a Russian airport for possessing cannabis oil. Well, after much speculation, Celine Dion has opened up about her health, the 54-year-old posting a video on social media overnight.
Recently, have been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. While we're still learning about this rare condition, we now know this is what's been causing all of the spasms that I've been having.
The singer has cancelled a string of upcoming shows and rescheduled her 2023 tour to 2024. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. We'll start with cricket, and Travis Head has become the first South Aussie to hit a century at Adelaide Oval since Greg Blewett in 1995. Marnus Labuschagne also starred with an unbeaten century and says his recent form is down to reworking his technique.
You just get into that mode where you feel like your processes are really good and you're sticking to your game relentlessly. And then the feel and the rhythm come and go. You know, like you feel good, you feel like you're smacking the ball one day. Today I didn't feel like that. I felt like it was a bit grindy.
The Aussies resumed today at 3 for 330. To footy, the AFL says there's no home teams in its gather round next season. All 9 games will be played across 4 days in April. The Crows and Carlton will kick off the festival on Thursday night at Adelaide Oval, while 2 matches will be played at Norwood and 1 in Mount Barker. Australia's best BMX riders will converge on the Gold Coast this weekend. The riding event is the first qualifier for the 2024 Paris Games. Tokyo gold medalist Logan Martin has told Today, BMX's inclusion in the Olympics has been a game changer for the sport.
We've had so much more support, you know, and there is a lot of kids coming up, a lot of kids riding bikes. So much potential, you know, to have an Aussie Olympic gold medalist in 32, which is pretty exciting.
And finally, the Adelaide 36ers will have a shoot-around this morning ahead of their match against the Wildcats tonight. It will be a special night for Daniel Johnson, who will play game 400. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Blakeview, smash on Main North Road near Yuley Road. Hope Valley, emergency waterworks, Grange Junction Road near Valley Road. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval for the Crickets. And look out for works at Bedford Park, Southern Expressway near Sturt Road. Busy right now, South Road at Mile End with cameras, Hub Drive, Aberfoyle Park, and McGill Road at McGill. Give your loved ones exactly what they want this Christmas. A Coles Group and Myer gift card with thousands of stores and millions of gifts to choose from. Available in-store now. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
26 for your Friday with cloud clearing. A late cool change tomorrow. Before that, though, 35. And then Sunday, a shower or two, 21. Monday, a possible shower, 19. Right now, it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
At Lendlease Retirement Living, we create places to live well. That's why our retirement villages are designed with your well-being in mind. From friendly neighbours and social activities to surroundings that inspire an active life, you'll discover the joy of belonging to a community that cares. It's more than just somewhere to live. It's a lifestyle that supports you to thrive. retirementbylendlease.com.au. Your place to live well.
Tomorrow, Adelaide welcomes something truly special, Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas. It's the largest cruise ship to visit Adelaide, and it docks at Outer Harbour at 8 a.m.
This is going to be amazing. Ovation of the Seas is all about adventure. Imagine climbing 91 metres above sea level in the North Star observation capsule, or skydiving at sea with ripcord by iFly, then catching a wave on the Flow Rider surf simulator.
Cruising is also about relaxing too. So after the adventure chill poolside, you can choose from over 20 delicious dining options, or take in a jaw-dropping show at 270. It's a multimedia theatre that transforms nightly with robotic dancing screens, aerialists and much more.
So head to Outer Harbour and see the magnificent Ovation of the Seas dockside tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or book your next cruise with the excellent people at Phil Hoffman Travel and jump on board yourself. Visit pht.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
22 to 9, we're giving away 4 kilos of local prawns thanks to Angelakis Brothers before 9 o'clock this morning. Lots of people, hundreds and hundreds of entries nominating their best moment of 2022. We'll have to put our heads together and come up with a winner before 9 o'clock. Still time if you want to text us though on 0480 1395 or call 8223 0000. Lots of people have mentioned Lucy in their best moments of 2022. She's here at the Central Markets broadcast booth with us. Morning, Luce.
Morning, guys. I do have a top 10 list of the year from our show, which we're about to run through, but it's Christmas and I'm feeling festive, so please call in now, 8223 0000 if you want to go and see A Man Called Otto starring Tom Hanks in cinemas January the 1st. It's a very heartwarming story. I can highly recommend it. Call Jono there, 8223 0000. Now to our list of the year. Sam's got my audio ready for me. So
who's this list chosen by? Is this your choice?
Sam and I did it together.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Panel of two. The behind-the-scenes team of 2. And we'll start with, we'll go from 10 to 1. 1 being the best, 10 being the 10th best. So, Sam, if you're ready, number 10.
17 after 6, David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Tom. Thanks for covering for me, Tom.
Well, he hasn't come in yet.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. That's just cruel. I can explain.
All right.
I can explain. We were there until about 11:15 when Crowded House finished. We could not get an Uber for love or money, and my wife lost her mobile phone in the mud.
Oh, no.
It was a disaster of a night. I lost my wife.
That was only a few weeks ago.
Yep.
David was late. It was 6:17 a.m. and he arrived after a disastrous night at the Harvest Festival.
It's the first time I've done that.
Yeah, no, you were fun. We've allowed
eternity.
it. We've allowed it. All right, Sam, number 9.
A segment that we've loved and been the founders of on 5AA Breakfast for 6-7 years now. Meat Tray Friday. It is as 5AA Breakfast as us.
Yep.
Something outrageous has happened.
New thing we're doing. We're going to start giving away meat trays to the best caller of the week.
There is no higher honour than receiving a meat tray, especially on a Friday.
No higher honour.
I don't even know who these people are.
Well,
but what was this sort of hokey music in the background? Is this some sort of like show for tea boppers? Is it some kiddies?
So this is Radio Junior.
Hip hop pop tunes program.
We lost our producer Andy down to Nova 919's Ben and Liam, our sister FM station, and he promptly took with him the meat tray.
He left and he took all the ideas with him.
Well, and you know what? And now they've gone to Melbourne.
Now they're in
so
Melbourne.
They've used and abused South Australian radio heritage and disappeared into state.
Yep,
well,
Andy,
nothing more than a cheap springboard for national attention.
Andy has headed to Melbourne as well and taken the meat tray with him.
Outrageous.
All right, number 8, please.
All I'll say is the
good
IQ
evening
of
to
both
you and
states
welcome
has gone
along
up.
to the 5AA Breakfast election night coverage. When we typically expect to come on air at 10:30 on the night, we figure we're getting towards the pointy end of things. Well, we're well past the pointy end. Many would say the race has been run and won. Peter Malinauskas, a little earlier, has succeeded in winning the election on the day. Stephen Marshall conceded at about half-time in the Port Brisbane game. We crossed and brought that to you live as it transpired.
That was, of course, our election night broadcast. March, was that the state election?
March 19.
It was over before it started.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was the world's shortest election night
We started the coverage at 9 p.m. and it was over before we even started the coverage to allow for the football. Number 7, please. We know it's Rowie. He had to do the
port song.
Port song.
I actually think he was deliberately playing it badly.
Do it,
So that was all for the Undy Drive, of course, where we raised $75,000 for Hutt Street and Catherine
Good on you,
House.
Rowie.
Number 6.
Now, one thing which
is a quarter,
we have been delighted to be able to enjoy this morning is the accommodation of the airport. We are the first time a breakfast radio station's ever broadcast live from here in the airport. It's been one hell of a background. Been lovely getting people coming through. I know a couple of people have come up of late and just made a donation by walking up to the desk.
Yeah,
which I don't think that might be making Radiothon history. In-person donations, which is terrific.
We were the first team to broadcast actually in the airport only 2 weeks ago for the Radiothon Variety annual event, which was excellent. Number 5.
The re-recorded or reimagined version of this year's model, is the entire album in Spanish?
Yes, except for a few times I pop up.
So is it like Yo no quiero ir a Chelsea?
It's something close to that, yes. Yes, you're very good. Well, you lived in Mexico, so you would know better than I. My father was a Spanish speaker in our family. I think that is correct, actually.
Elvis Costello.
Elvis
that was so much fun.
David had a
fascinating
pure fanboy moment.
I did. It was a bit embarrassing.
That was in the first 2 weeks of this year. I got you to come in at about 11:30 or something in the morning. We did a full Zoom chat, and they kept trying to wrap you up.
That interview went for about 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and they honestly just kept trying to wrap you up. It was excellent. It was a pleasure to have Elvis Costello on the program. Number 4, please.
Doing some weirdly shaped lunges. Oh, he's off. He's on. He's yelling.
No.
Here we go. Oh, he slowed down as he's hit the water. Jumped in. He's got a real weird sort of jumping, walking style going on. Oh, head first, in he goes.
I don't think that was a minute, was it?
Nowhere near, mate.
Was it 30 seconds?
Wasn't even 30.
That's hard to describe. I don't know how people do that. To be honest, I feel like I ran through a pane of glass. Like it is insanely cold.
That is David during the undie drive where we made him dive into the water down at Henley Beach. And
I feel cold hearing that now.
Absolutely freezing. Don't worry.
6 degrees it was that day.
There may or may not be a similar challenge for next year,
Righto.
but we'll up the fundraising efforts, I
Will
reckon.
can do it next year.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3,
Noted
please.
my bravery. So here he's done a bit of scarecrow work, Redmayne, and...
It's enough! Australia in the World Cup! Andrew Redmayne's a hero!
Not calling the game, of course.
Andrew Redmayne!
Not calling the game, of course. That is the Socceroos getting into the World Cup. It wasn't their recent attempts in the comp. It was actually qualifying to be in the World Cup. And that brings back another memory, which we'll get to shortly. But number 2.
Well, the Queen has died aged 96. A tremendously sad day in history, but a day that we're going to spend remembering the life of, I think, one of the most remarkable leaders in all of human history, the Governor, Francis Adamson. Your Excellency, good morning.
Well, I was woken in the early hours of this morning in accordance with the agreed plans and advised of the very sad news indeed.
The Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, joins us on 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning. What is a very sad day, but you're right as well to say that it's an opportunity to reflect and to celebrate what is an extraordinary life.
I think more, not necessarily a happy memory from the year, but really pivotal one. We found out that she
became
passed
one-
away at 3:30 in the morning, so...
Yeah, the thing I really liked about that show was that, like so often on our show, it was driven by the listeners, because so many of our listeners had their own memories going back to like the 1950s, where they met the Queen and the Duke in Elizabeth. They met them in country towns, they met them in the city, great hearing all of those memories from our South Australian listeners about what the Queen meant to them.
And I think everyone's favourite memory of the year, Sam.
I've got the pregnant wife at home, wasn't able to sleep through it because we were watching the soccer, so...
Yeah. Yes. Now, we are rolling along nicely here.
Yeah, Lucy just picked up.
You just said something pretty massive.
Yeah, we've got a little girl on the way.
Oh, mate! Congratulations!
Thank you. You and I are going to have something in common, or something more in common. Thank you, mate.
Some awesome unscripted radio.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, mate, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
that is terrific.
Towards the end of October,
I'm going to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug on air? I'm going to give you a hug. I'm coming over.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Coming over. That is hilarious.
You know what the best thing about that is? Like, people that don't know David, he is genuinely the most loyal and decent bloke ever. And in the moment, he resisted every journalistic instinct to say, hang on, there's a story, and tried desperately to cover for me live on air with, we're rolling along okay.
It was an incredible team moment that happened on the day.
Oh, my God. That was the most pathetic attempt on my part to cover it up, though. Like, how about those Blue Jays?
And you know, the best thing about it is all three of us have teared up hearing that again.
Yeah, that's right.
It was very nice.
It was a nice moment.
That is our top 10
well
of
done,
2022.
Liz.
Maybe we should get to a break to recompose.
Yeah, good idea. Well,
excellent stuff.
That was magnificent work, Lucy, and we're looking forward to hearing you next week with Michael Smith and
you do a great job.
number of weeks over the course of the summer break as well. That was just beautiful. Well put together, you and Sam. That was magnificent work. We're going to check traffic and come back with behind closed doors and giving away the seafood in just a minute.
At Blakeview, look out for a smash on Main North Road near Yulee Road. Hope Valley, emergency waterworks, Grange Junction Road near Valley Road. North Adelaide, War Memorial Drive will be closed again during the day in front of the Adelaide Oval. That is for the crickets. Got roadworks today at Bedford Park, Southern Expressway near Sturt Road. Speeds are down to 40, and we're busy right now, South Road at Miley. Look out for cameras, Hub Drive, Aberfoyle Park, and McGill Road at McGill. Trades and builders, power your business with Bunnings Trade Power Pass. Get the free app to self-transact in store and get in and out faster. Search Bunnings Trade Power Pass. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Battling high chlorine when you take your pool blanket off? Rather than trapping excess chlorine that concentrates to higher than intended levels, Sunline Australia's innovative Aquavent pool blanket allows for maximum heat gain and retention while letting excess harmful chlorine escape. Award-winning Aquavent, the world's only breathable solar pool blanket, is proudly Australian-made for creating a healthier swimming environment. Upgrade to an Aquavent today. Visit sunlineaustralia.com.au.
This is your time to experience the best of life in your new luxury apartment. Meticulously crafted from the ground up. Choose from a range of spacious 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments at Adelaide's most sought-after address, 88 O'Connell. Just a short walk to the CBD with picturesque views across the city, hills or coastline. Enjoy the convenience of a ground floor marketplace with bar and dining, pools and gymnasium. Apartments are selling fast. Visit 88o'connell.com.
See you, Mark.
Got to talk fruit chocks. The great Mark Aston came up to say hi.
Love Mark Aston. Loved working with Mark. He's wandering off.
He's a great South Australian. Like how men's fruit chocks are great South Australians. Whether it's a surprise on your favourite co-worker's desk or a treat under the tree, nothing beats sharing a South Australian icon for Christmas, men's fruit chocks.
That's right. Whether you're partial to the classic fruit chocks or a fan of melt-in-the-mouth violet crumbles, or you prefer to indulge in a variety, there's a gift pack for everybody at the Fruit Chock shop.
Make all your interstate relatives bring a box of SA Pride home. And I got a word from Santa too. You don't have to worry about the old cookies and milk this year. He just wants fruit chocks.
He loves fruit chocks. And look, a couple of weeks as a dad, Will, and you're already on the phone talking to Father Christmas, which is good to see.
He called me to congratulate me.
That's right. Now, a pack of this South Aussie favourite never lasts long, so naturally these gift packs are fruit chockers.
That's right. Shop online or at the Fruit Chock shops in Glynde, McLaren Vale, Harndorf, Tanunda and online. Plenty of spots for Santa to shop.
City Discount Tires.
For the best advice and price on tyres and mechanical, see City Discount Tyres. With local deals on the world's biggest and best brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts for four-wheel drive, SUVs and passenger cars. Finance available. Find your nearest dealer at citydiscounttyres.com.au. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 to 9. That 4 kilos of Angelakis Brothers prawns is going someone's way very shortly. We'll take a couple of more entries before 9 o'clock, starting with Faye in Windsor Gardens. Faye, what's your highlight of 2022?
Yes, good morning, boys. I guess I can say nothing more but to say about the football with the last grand final here in South Australia when North and Norwood played. And you know what? We, North Adelaide, got beaten by 1 point. Just like it did a few years ago when Norwood won over Port in 1984, and then North Adelaide got beaten by the Maggies in 1989 with their 15 goals, 18 to our humble 1 goal 8. I know it's going back a bit, but Merry
good on you, Faye.
New Year, and thanks for wonderful shows throughout the year.
Good on you, Faye.
Thank you so much.
We don't have a show without callers like you, Faye. You have a wonderful Christmas too.
Rosalie, good morning.
Good morning. Our special thing for the year was we went to Uluru. It was our 6th time going there, but we wanted to celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And it was on my bucket list to see it rain on the rock. And guess what? It rained on the rock.
The heavens smiled on you and your 60-year marriage, Rosalie. 60 years, that's a huge milestone.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then we got home after being away for 3 months, and a beautiful magpie that walks into the house and sings for me on command. He was sitting here at the window waiting for us.
That's excellent.
That's
have a
lovely.
great Christmas, Rosalie.
Brenton in Angaston, good morning.
Yeah, good day, fellas. Fellas, mine's easily. Last week, my wife was cleared of breast cancer, so...
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that was a big deal for us.
I bet.
Easily.
Congratulations to you guys. That's
terrific
That's
news,
the best
Brenton.
possible news, Brenton. We're so happy for you.
Good on you, mate.
What a nice piece of news to get a couple of weeks out from Christmas as well.
Yeah,
That'll
exactly.
Make the whole season really, really special.
Yeah, for sure.
We got so many texts in that vein as well. You just don't think too often about how often and how many people are out there are going through things with loved ones of their own health that they don't probably talk about. And so many listeners that we know have gotten to know over the years have revealed things today and talking about their best moments of 2022 that have been really touching. Maybe a couple of texts before we go behind closed doors.
Well, in an equally moving vein, Carol from Northfield writes, I've got 2 happy times this year. Firstly, my 95-year-old mum survived pneumonia and recently also COVID. And then my nephew and his wife were blessed with a beautiful little girl after losing their infant son 2 years ago.
Oh, gee.
That's a terrific year, Carol, compared to some of the hardships that you've been through. And on a much lighter note, Rob says his best moment of 22 was buying a beer at a bar and standing enjoying drinking it without a mask on.
How about that? That became a novelty, didn't it?
That's right. Well, it's funny, this time a year ago, we were about to all get sucked into the vortex of COVID, weren't we?
May we never, ever have to put a mask on ever again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast, 13 13 64.
And when we get behind
FIVEAA. This is
Jade.com.au. Imagine that. Hyundai.
Well, the FIVEAA 500 race has been run and won on Saturday, which means the big race plant sale is well underway and it starts today at 8 a.m. The biggest plant sale of the year, and it's on right now at Victoria Park. All the plants in the Adelaide 500 stands, marquees and corporate hospitality areas are for sale. Yes, they all have to go. And it's been going since Monday, and today's Friday, and it starts today. So get in quick or you'll miss out. This is your once-a-year opportunity to pick up some top-quality decorative and flowering plants, gardenias, magnolias, ferns, hedging plants, featured trees, including ficus, and I probably didn't pronunciate that properly, topiary, or that, drought-tolerant plants and more, all at ridiculously cheap prices. Enter through Gate 1 off Halifax Street and follow the signs. Make sure you get in early for bargains, even though early was 4 days ago. It starts today and has been running since Monday, but nobody bothered to update this piece of copy, but I'll read whatever's in front of me like a robot. The big FIVEAA 500 plant sale been going for 4 days, starts today. There's only 2 days left. Please note, copy department, make sure this is updated before it's put in the log for Jade to read on Thursday.
Oh, that happens.
It happens to the best of us.
It does. All right, let's have a look at the fuel situation. Find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Download the free My RA app from your app store today. Cheap spots we're able to find. This is exciting. One with $1.05 in front of it. $1.59.9, the ex-convenience Main North Road, Jeps Cross. $1.59.5, the OTR Regency Road, Croydon Park. $1.61.7, the OTR Green Hill Road, Glenside. In the south, the $1.61 at the Ampol, Griffiths Drive, Seaford. The cheapest diesel, $2.04.9. Silver's Auto, Gilbert Street, Adelaide. And the Ampol at Cross Keys Road, Cavan, $2.03.5. Some exciting news for whoever ultimately wins the seafood this morning, because Chris Jarmer, who texted us earlier, runs the magnificent Jarmers just outside the city, is going to be joining Jade Robran after 3, talking all things prawn recipes. The 5AA Food and Wine Show, thanks to Smeg. If you're building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Deputy Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Sip and Save. Who gets the seafood tray this morning, thanks to Angelakis Brothers?
Well, look, we had so many great calls, we had so many great texts, but one that really touched us was Jenny from Parkside, who talked about how she had been homeless and she's managed to get her life back in order, turned it around, and is happily back under 4 walls. Jenny, great that you shared that story with us. It's something that I think a surprisingly large number of people could probably relate to. And at Christmas time, it's great to hear that you're back on your feet. So you are the winner of the 4 kilos of prawns for Christmas, thanks to our great friends at Angelakis. Thanks to the market for having us here. And most of all, thanks to everyone for listening this year. To you, Lucy, Will, Sam, back in the studio.
Lucy's first year this year producing the show.
Yeah.
As being the captain of the ship, and she is a superstar. And I think everyone listening knows has got an insight into that.
Hosting the show as well in the spare time, which she'll be doing next week with Michael Smith. So good on you.
Sam as well joined the team this year. It's been a big year of change for us, and I think it's one of the most enjoyable years we've ever had.
Yeah, bloody oath. Absolutely.
We love it.
And Will, your first Christmas as a dad? You're going to go full Clark Griswold, aren't you?
Oh, you better believe it.
It's going to be excellent.
To get the lights display happening from this afternoon.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
And we'll see you in 2023. Have a good one.
Have your rent and electricity bills gone through the roof? Hot water is one of the most expensive parts of your electricity bill, but EcoVantage could help. If your rent is below $400 per week, your home might qualify for a free